Chapter 5:12. Lin Luoran almost collapses in despair. The blue title page of The Great Truths on the table of the cabin is blown open by a gust of wind. The wordless page rustles. Someone sighs helplessly. She is more willful than before. The voice is so low that it is almost inaudible. Only White Fairy, who is still rational, seems to notice it. She glances at the direction of the cabin and thinks she has an auditory hallucination. Lin Luoran's shape is about to disappear, but that person is still moved. Light spots the size of fireflies float out of The Great Truths and shoot out of the space. They are invisible to the naked eye, so the spiritual power of the fake saintess naturally can't detect them. The light spots cover the Green Mountains world. She finds that the nearest and more powerful existence is a wood monster. It is guarding a rare spirit herb in a hidden kernel. The light spots sink into the body of the wood monster. It moves its hands and feet and is satisfied with the body it temporarily borrows. When the wood monster opens its eyes again, it looks gentle. However, its eyes seem to contain countless secrets, which makes its temperament and charm completely different from the previous wood monster. When it opens its eyes again, it seems to detect the power that does not belong to this plane in the depths of the void. Only continuous muffled thunder reminds the creatures of the plane that the existence that belongs to this world has quietly come to the world. He moves his fingers and the frequency of air fluctuations changes. He has disappeared. When he reappears, the air is fluctuating. He is already on the bank of a big river hundreds of miles away. Stepping on the 3-foot waves, he frowns slightly when he sees that the flames are really going to burn the two people to death. Go! The 3-foot blue waves under his feet separate into a clear stream and drizzle. In the blink of an eye, the flames set by the fake saintess are extinguished. The water flows around the two people slowly. Even the fire lurking in their bodies that can cause secondary damage is removed. Since he suddenly appears, the fake saintess has never looked away. She is so focused that she doesn't even care whether Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran are saved or not. In terms of appearance alone, it is an androgynous face. His black hair is simply tied up and he is wearing a light yellow robe, which makes him look even more handsome. He is a handsome man in the troubled world. Judging from the appearance, he looks like a man but the soul inside. Yes, this is an acacia tree monster with a man's appearance. His cultivation was not high, and it was obvious that he had been severely injured after his transformation. He had just undergone his second transformation not too long ago. All in all, this was an ordinary demoness with a decent temperament, but a mediocre cultivation base. But how could an ordinary acacia tree spirit have such a pair of eyes? His calm and mysterious eyes didn't match his youthful and handsome appearance. Is it him? The fake saintess's shoulders tremble uncontrollably. She has to concentrate all her consciousness to restrain herself from taking a step forward. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that she can go out. Lin Luoran has no time to think about how the sacred bead identifies her safety. Her primordial spirit returns to her body and she can open her eyes. After protecting Baojia behind her, she smiles gratefully at the young man in the yellow robe. Voidy. Voidy shook her head. Little girl. I'm not Voidy. Lin Luoran feels as if she has been struck by lightning. Her mind goes blank and her heart suddenly forgets to beat. After a long time, she grits her teeth to find her heartbeat. It is the face of Voidy, the acacia tree. What she saw as a bystander was preaching in her dream. Is it the robe? Until Voidy laughs in a low voice, the huge blank space in her mind is filled with colorful colors again. Very nice. Voidy raises her eyebrows and asks. I mean, your voice is very nice. In such an atmosphere, her praise is so abrupt that Lin Luoran really wants to bite off her tongue. Or should she just lie on the ground and pretend to be dead? Well, I know. The robe and the body of the acacia tree can't help but laugh when he sees Lin Luoran blushing and lowering her head to look for a crack in the ground. Putting aside the awkward fact that a man was lodging with a woman, just by looking at the beautiful scene of the two people looking at each other in front of the Jade River, one had to say that the handsome young man in the yellow robe and the otherworldly woman in the green dress were an incomparably compatible couple. The complete neglect finally makes the fake saintess wake up from her self-pity. She clenches her fists and her long and beautiful nails pierce into her palms. The robe holds back the idea of rubbing Lin Luoran's hair. Noticing the real gaze of the fake saintess, he finally distracts himself. Alien consciousness, right? It's okay that you stay on the earth. But you know she is the inheritor, why do you keep making things difficult for her? His tone doesn't fluctuate much. He not only points out the origin of the fake saintess but also convicts her. Although his attitude is gentle, the unquestionable attitude in his words is very obvious. The existence of the fake saintess not only threatens Lin Luoran but also disturbs the atmosphere of his conversation with her. Alien consciousness. The fake saintess can't believe it. She feels sour and angry in her heart. She only feels that she has stayed on the earth for 10,000 years and encountered many dangers when crossing the galaxy. She feels ashamed, angry, and sour at the same time. She even staggers a little. Taking 2 steps back, the fake saintess asks the robe carefully with inquiring and expectant eyes. Don't you remember me? If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, Lin Luoran would never believe that she would see such a fragile side of the fake saintess in her lifetime. She even looks pitiful. It's a pity that the robe's heart is made of iron. The beauty is so sad. He pretends to think for a while and then shakes his head as if nothing has happened. Thinking of the picture she saw, the robe overlooking a certain planet in the air, Lin Luoran guesses that the robe has lived for countless years and has visited countless planets in his life. There must be very few people and things that can make such a powerful existence care about. For him, it was normal to define something beyond the scope of his concern as an alien consciousness entity. Unfortunately, the saintess of the Jiuli tribe, who is high and mighty and claims to be a god, has her perfect face smashed and her body becomes shaky. Compared with abhorrence and joy, I have no impression of you at all. This kind of cognition makes her almost collapse even though she has strong willpower. She inexplicably thinks of everything she has done in the past, such as Chi Yu whose spirit power has just been devoured by her. She doesn't care about Chi Yu or the Aborigines on the earth at all. Is this what Chi trainers call the Tao of nature and the cycle of retribution? No, although she is indifferent, she occasionally has emotions like reluctance and pity. However, the gentle and indifferent man in front of her often smiles, but his heart is actually cold. How can I not remember? Red mist rises in the eyes of the fake saintess, blurring her vision. The temperature gradually rises. Chio's spirit power is not easy to digest, and she has just shaped her body. Her spiritual mind is a little chaotic, and the untamed power in her body is tumbling. Flames overflow from the corner of her dress and spread on the ice without wood. How can she not remember? She still remembers the first time she saw him. His skin color was different from that of the mother planet. The wanted order rolling in the red alert of the interstellar TV station, searching for dangerous intruders. How can someone walk freely in the void without any equipment? She repeatedly studies the pictures broadcast by the interstellar TV station. It is completely contrary to the knowledge taught in school. As a talented genius on the mother planet who became famous when she was young, she had been allowed to skip a grade and enter the Imperial Starship General Academy. She majored in starship system design and minored in starship piloting. In the first class, the drill masters emphasized the harm of radiation to the human body during space travel. They repeatedly told the future starship operators of the Empire that they must have a sense of safety to ensure that they would never be exposed to the unknown cosmic environment. However, this alien man appeared in such a way and smashed the knowledge system she had learned. She was not convinced by the intruder, but she was also curious about it. One day, after she had racked her brain trying to figure out how the human body could walk in the void, she saw the alien invader with her own eyes during an actual combat exercise. He was so tall, and his skin color was different. He lived in a tree house. When he looked down, his eyes were particularly gentle, without the dangerous feeling emphasized by the interstellar TV station. Compared with the men on the mother planet, his skin color did not meet her aesthetic standards, and his facial features could be said to be ordinary. However, as a genius who became famous when she was young, she was used to being stared at by eyes full of envy, deception, or jealousy. She had never seen a pair of eyes so pure that when they looked at her, they only looked at her as a person without other conditions. The girl's heart beat violently for no reason. How did they become familiar with each other? It seemed to be very natural. She always went to the forest, and he only stayed in the tree house for about 2 months a year. Even if he was at home, he would be busy with his own things. He would not take the initiative to talk to her, but he would not drive her away either. He always wore a linen robe. He never ate meat. His drinking water was dew collected, and he ate all kinds of berries. She always felt that he did not eat because he was hungry, but because he wanted to try the taste of different berries. He stayed on the mother planet for 6 years, and his footprints covered every corner of the planet. It was not until the 5th year that she talked to him. In the continuous conversation, he told her the purpose of his visit. "I am looking for an inheritor. Have you found one?" He shook his head. "This planet is very similar to my home planet, but no one is suitable to be an inheritor." She asked him where his home planet was, and she was met with a long silence. Thinking that he would not answer this question, he said after a long time, "I can't find it anymore, but there should be someone like me, right? Someone like him, with ivory white skin, black hair, and black eyes?" She firmly remembered the characteristics in her heart, and decided to help him find his home planet if there was a chance. One day, he suddenly said that he was going to leave, and left her a set of spiritual power training exercises, and then he really never came back. The second 6 years, the third 6 years, when she was almost exhausted by waiting, she decided to follow the man's footsteps. That year, she was already the only god in the field of spiritual power in the empire. She gave up her position above thousands of people and set off from the mother planet with a fleet. When she found the blue planet, the whole fleet had only her consciousness left. Her body's lifespan had exceeded the limit. She was really the most talented person in the empire, and she had actually cultivated to the realm of independent survival of spiritual power. She controlled the small spacecraft with her consciousness to land, and saw the girl from Earth who had the same skin and hair color as her. Chapter 5:13. That night, the light refracted by the Earth's satellite moon shines through the towering ancient trees. The spacecraft is eroded by unknown substances in the Earth's atmosphere. When it lands on the Earth, it is completely wrecked. It is impossible for her to repair it alone. However, her joy can't be defeated by some setbacks. She finally has the same body as him with black hair, black eyes, and ivory white skin. The Earth girl's facial features are impeccable. Even on the mother planet, she is a rare beauty. Since she borrows the body of the Earth girl, she can also live as her. Plants and beasts all have spirits. Except for the human race, she is surprised that other species on the blue planet can also extend their lifespan indefinitely through personal ability enhancement. The difference is that the beast race pays attention to bloodline, plants and trees depend on the environment and chance, and the human race needs Taoist root. Cultivators on the Earth train Qi into their bodies and call themselves Qi trainers. The key to personal ability enhancement is the so-called Taoist root in their bodies. This thing can't be seen or touched, but it will produce the most intuitive reaction when facing Reiki in the world. It was the Qi trainers who could fly in the sky and burrow into the ground that made her believe that this blue planet, which was 70% covered by water, was his hometown. Knowing that Qi trainers have a long life, she begins to look for his whereabouts while the Jiuli and Xianyuan tribes are expanding in the primitive world. He looks too ordinary. In the first few years, she almost finds nothing until the Jiuli tribe expands to an extremely remote small tribe. That small tribe is barren and weak, but it is arrogant. Behind us is the most famous mountain that all Qi trainers yearn for, Cyan Phoenix. She had personally explored the high mountains near the inhospitable small tribe. The mountains are beautiful with abundant reiki. It is indeed a good place for training chi and personal ability enhancement. There used to be magnificent buildings on the top of the mountain. However, as time goes by, there are only broken pillars left. Hundreds of stone tablets stand on the hillside. Black crows scream. There are more than 300 tombs. The small tribe has lived for a long time. It has been on the verge of extinction several times. However, it seems to be protected by fate. It has survived from the beginning of the primitive world to the present day with its decaying body. There are two strange things about the tombs in the back mountain of Cyan Phoenix. One is that it is empty without any skeletons. After a long time, she had already integrated into the customs of Huaxia, and later generations gave this kind of grave a very vivid name, cenotaph. Secondly, according to the legend of the small tribe, regardless of whether it was the first famous chi-cultivating mountain or the tombs of later generations, they were all old things from 10,000 years ago. More than 300 stone tablets were still as new as before. In the introduction to the stone tablet, apart from the different names of the deceased, the inscription was the same, Lao Ai. Who would use such a careless name? Just by looking at the name, she could not pay attention to the identity of the person who made the monument. That tribe, on the other hand, had once been protected by a mighty figure. After special treatment, the silk painting was preserved. The crude painting technique used grass juice as the pigment. It told the story of a mysterious chi refinement warrior who killed and harmed the Blood Bat clan 10,000 years ago. The twisted lines were out of shape, and the ability of the small tribe to tell stories was also unbearable. But she still recognizes the mysterious cultivator drawn in the introduction line. The small tribe paints his action of riding in the air very vividly. It is even rarer for a man to wear beads. She is sure that the protagonist of the story is the one she travels across the vast starry sky to find. In the long years, she has grown from an ignorant girl to a princess who leads the starship fleet of the Empire to open up new territories. In the infinite distance, her body is annihilated in the endless interstellar travel. She finds the person who leads her to the magical spiritual realm. It is not so much because of the excitement hundreds of years ago, but because of the vicissitudes of life. This kind of search has become her obsession to live on. Yes, a ridiculous obsession. At that time, she had already noticed the abnormality of the event, but she subconsciously ignored it. She began to frantically search for his whereabouts on the Earth star. It is said that when chi trainers reach a certain level of cultivation, they will ascend to the immortal world. At that time, the difference between the immortal world and the untainted land was not so big, and there was still news of the zenith heaven golden immortal walking in the human world. When she met him hundreds of years ago, he could already travel among the stars alone. That was not a skill that chi trainers should have. With his personal ability, he should have an infinitely long life. He must still be alive. She tried every means to find him on the Earth star. She provoked a war among the human race, trying to attract the attention of the existence above the human world. She collected legends from all over the primitive world, trying to analyze some clues. When the human race flourished and the human chi trainers developed on a large scale, she was shocked by the strength of this race. Finally, she made a plan that would affect the land of Huaxia for thousands of years. She would destroy the foundation of chi trainers. If possible, she would disrupt the progress of this civilization. It is hard to imagine that if the Earth continues to develop like this, the individual evolution will reach the extreme, and no force in the universe can compete with it. After all, she has never heard of the keywords, Taoist root, and training chi, in her long interstellar journey. She is almost certain that this is a kind of civilization with infinite potential that cannot be replicated on other planets. All kinds of arts of nature mastered by the barbarians on the Earth and their long lifespan are an inestimable threat to interstellar civilization. Since it cannot be replicated or controlled, as the princess of the Empire of the Advanced Alliance star, it is necessary for her to kill such a crisis in the cradle. The interstellar survival law formed in the endless years shows that the so-called peace is the slavery of the strong to the weak. The resources of the universe are not inexhaustible. She doesn't want her home planet to be threatened one day. Her actions are very secretive. Subconsciously, she also hopes that someone will stand up to stop her. She even hopes that the person is him. Coincidentally, all the gods and Buddhas in the sky pretend to be deaf and dumb. By disappearing collectively, they acquiesce to her behavior of destroying the foundation of personal ability on the earth. The plan was very successful. Hiding under the cover of the current situation could help her pass the stagnant days. It is not until she is successfully counterattacked by the Jiuli tribe and is sealed in the underground world of the desert by the soul-suppressing stone. In the loneliness that can torture people crazy, she reconsiders some clues that she has ignored. For example, at the beginning of primitive times, there were no gods and Buddhas on the earth. The sporadic clues in primitive legends show that when he walked on the earth, it was the beginning of primitive times, when powerful monsters were everywhere. Someone passed on the formula of training Qi to help the human race protect themselves, so the human race could gradually become stronger. She begins to think about whether the Earth is his home planet or just similar to it. In the interstellar transmission, because of some indescribable accident, she arrives at the end of primitive times when the human race rose. And his traces and legends are in the early primitive times when the human race was just at the beginning. Due to a freak combination of factors, the distance between them wasn't just a horizontal distance of countless light years. In fact, it is an uncrossable vertical time of 10,000 years, year after year. Even if she is willing to stay on the earth for 10,000 years, it can't offset the huge gap of 10,000 years. Because in her long life of searching and waiting, only his image shines brighter and brighter. In his long life, he occasionally passes by a planet. 6 years is so short that he has no impression of it. The ancient books of personal ability that she regards as treasures are just something he finds casually. Her existence was just a meaningless, alien consciousness entity. The flame is boundless, roasting the half-melted snow in the Green Mountains. Wherever the unscrupulous and flamboyant flame goes, the grass soaked in the snow water is instantly scorched and the trees are also wet and burning. With the help of the half-melted snow water and the flame, the melting speed is against common sense. The soil can't absorb it. The snow water with ice residue rushes down from the high place and moves crazily along the low-lying place. The snow flood arrives in the blink of an eye. Baojia wakes up slowly. She looks at Lin Luoran with unclear eyes and complicated feelings. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to care about these details. She sees that the fake saintess is stimulated and goes crazy. The Green Mountains turn into a swamp in the blink of an eye. However, the man in robe who appears in the body of the acacia tree is indifferent. Lin Luoran has to ride her sword and float in the air with Baojia. She doesn't understand why the man in robe, who suddenly appears as a savior, doesn't stop the evil deeds of the fake saintess. The man in robe tiptoes on the rising river waves. Seeing that Lin Luoran still doesn't know how to hide her emotions and frowns, he can't help but put away his casual smile. The catastrophe of the earth is inevitable. The nine-tailed fox family separated the Green Mountains to form its own world, but it only delayed the arrival of the catastrophe. Even if it is not a flood, it may encounter landslides, subsidence, or unextinguishable mountain fires in the future. Do you understand my explanation? Does the catastrophe of the Earth refer to the invasion of the Alpha Alliance 300 years ago? The Earth was scorched, mutant monsters occupied the living space of human beings, and tens of millions of species became extinct? The man in robe's words mean that some people have expected this catastrophe a long time ago, including the nine-tailed fox family. They wanted to separate the Green Mountains world to save their homeland. However, the catastrophe that has been doomed will not stop because of the means of the nine-tailed fox family. The Green Mountains did not become a scorched land, but it only survived for another 300 years. Will it become a swamp? Even so, Lin Luoran still purses her lips tightly when she thinks that this is the home of Cyan Little Fox. She sees all kinds of ordinary animals who have just woken up from the pain of being frozen and can only cling to driftwood to survive when the flood comes. Doomed catastrophe. So you don't save them. Just like you, the Earth is still easily invaded and destroyed by interstellar civilizations. Let alone the personal ability of the man in robe that she doesn't even dare to think about. Even if there are a few more gathering vitality cultivators, the war 300 years ago will not end like this. As a native Earth cultivator, Lin Luoran feels very uncomfortable at the moment because of the exhaustion of Reiki on the Earth. Seeing her expression, the man in robe can guess what Lin Luoran is thinking. Thinking of her stubborn character, he doesn't intend to explain to her why he can't intervene in this catastrophe. However, he can't be indifferent. The water character you wrote is still far from perfect. Look carefully. I will only write it once. Lin Luoran raises her head in surprise. Is the man in robe going to help her? Chapter 5:14. The character of water you write is still far from perfect. Look carefully. I will only write this once. Lin Luoran's heart settles down when she hears this. Not to mention the picture of primitive monsters bowing in front of the man in robe in her dream, Lin Luoran completely admires the strength of the man in robe from the teaching scene in The Great Truths. Even if he now borrows the monster body of the acacia tree, he can still beat the fake saintess who has just shaped her body, right? The man in robe raises his hand casually and uses his fingers as a pen. It is obviously an ordinary action, but it has a kind of freehand feeling when he does it. When he finishes the first stroke, Lin Luoran has been keenly aware of her own shortcomings. In order to grasp the shape and strokes of each character, she has repeatedly copied and written in her dream or during the several years of interstellar voyage back from Nami. She has never been tired. Her seriousness has brought her the most basic mastery of the 8 characters. The effect of the startling wind and clouds as she writes is initially apparent. However, it is far less than the effect when the man in robe writes. Lin Luoran thought it was because of her low personal ability. After watching the live version, she understands the real difference. How to put it? When Lin Luoran writes herself, she is afraid of failure, so she follows the rules in every stroke and even every node. However, the same character of water, the man in robe, makes a subtle turn from the first stroke and endows it with constant golden runes which are full of vitality. Is the change of full of Reiki because the man in robe combines with the current environment? Lin Luoran is reluctant to blink. Every subtle turn and the fierce sparks when the inspiration collides make her excited beyond words. The cerebral cortex is active frequently. It is the effect of Lin Luoran's deduction of the changes of every node. It turns out that a simple character of water can be so plastic. When the man in robe finishes writing the last stroke, he retracts his fingers. A dazzling golden rune appears in the void. The god of water is here and all water comes to worship. The snow water that is enough to drown the entire Green Mountains is drawn by the power of the law of heaven and earth and rushes in the direction of the man in robe. The snow water crosses the mountains and flows through the canyons. It gathers from the distant border of the Green Mountains. The stream first converges into a river and then surges into a river. It rushes along the well-distributed river channels in the Green Mountains. As soon as the white waves arrive, new waves come from behind. Waves chase waves, and water chase water. The snow and water occupying the east, south, west, and north have a regular pattern, minimizing the damage of the flood to the Green Mountains world. As for the fake saintess, there is no need for the robe to deal with her. More and more water vapor accumulates and gradually extinguishes the flame. Her red dress is wet, and her long hair is tightly attached to her scalp. The fake saintess has probably never been so embarrassed in her life. If she was sober at this moment, she might be willing to die. The robe floated in the air and looked at the time. When the flood converged from all directions, he spread out his right hand. His palm is like a bottomless pit with fragrant bait, attracting the flood to take the initiative to throw itself. In the dense water vapor, his side face is infinitely blurred, and people can't see his appearance clearly. It is impossible to think that he is possessing the acacia tree monster at the moment. They are obviously two completely different faces. The beauty of unscented is clear and handsome, androgynous, and the robe he saw in the dream has very ordinary facial features for cultivators. His temperament is also gentle and indifferent, as if he will be ignored if he is not careful. His temperament is as ordinary as his facial features. Now that he has borrowed someone else's body, the delicate face of the acacia tree monster is thrown aside, making it easy for people to distinguish the two different people. In less than a quarter of an hour, the last bit of snow water is also swallowed by the palm of the man in robe. The monstrous flood that can drown a world turns into 3 blue water droplets the size of a thumbnail. Flowing silver light shines in the depths of the water droplets. There is a thin layer of protective film on the surface, which is bouncy and soft like jelly. The word, water, can be withdrawn and released at will, just like Lin Luoran can control and melt the snow when she writes the word, snow. However, the man in robe writes according to his mind. Once the pen is finished, it will naturally gather the flood according to his mind. Don't underestimate these 3 little things. Pinching one of them at will is more powerful than the dragons making waves. Well, since I have made an exception, I will give them to you. The man in robe waves to the sky. A white cloud turns into silver light and falls down. He grabs it in his hand and pulls it into a translucent and slender silk thread. After passing through the 3 blue water droplets, it becomes a unique water droplet necklace. Looking from a distance, the water droplets are surrounded by clouds and mist. The man in robe grabs the clouds in the sky and makes them into silk threads. Some scattered clouds and mist stand beside the water droplets, lingering for a long time. Speaking of which, Lin Luoran is the one who gives gifts to her family and friends most of the time. She has received very few gifts and no one is as generous as this. According to the fake saintess, she should be the inheritor chosen by the man in robe. However, his attitude towards her is far more doting than that between a master and an apprentice. Although they have never really got along, they help each other silently in times of crisis. Maybe this is silent concern. She can feel the man in robe's protection for her. It has nothing to do with love. It is pure and sincere care, which makes her relax easily in front of the man in robe. She will feel unprecedentedly at ease. Lin Luoran doesn't hesitate and takes the water droplet necklace. The warm water vapor can nourish people's soul. Is it the right medicine for her ocean of consciousness? Lin Luoran feels that a lot of words are on the tip of her tongue, but they all turn into tacit understanding in silence. Her heart is full of the tacit understanding that, if you treat me like a national knight, I will treat you like a national knight. What about her? Baojia is affected by the serious injury of Snow Sword, so she can barely speak. Lin Luoran suddenly wakes up and looks at the direction she is pointing. The fake saintess. She almost forgets about it. The fake saintess is in a bad state now. It seems that it doesn't matter whether she is killed or not. However, for this enemy who has been entangled with her for hundreds of years, Lin Luoran has no reason to let her go out of pity even if she is possessed by the Virgin Mary. This woman can easily escape from being suppressed in the underground world twice. Without the help of the man in robe, Lin Luoran would have been doomed this time. For the fake saintess, who is good at seizing every fleeting opportunity, Lin Luoran can't defeat her even if she lives for another 300 years. If you don't remove the root of the weed, it will grow again in the spring. Sometimes cultivators really can't do anything about killing. The man in robe obviously knows the principle of helping people to the end. After Baojia asks, he almost doesn't think too much. He stretches out his index finger and points at the fake saintess from a distance. There are flashing electric arcs on his fingertips. He moves very fast, but his movement seems to be infinitely slow in the eyes of Lin Luoran and Baojia. Lin Luoran can hold on for a little longer. However, Baojia's personal ability is low and she is injured. She frowns after a few glances at Lin Luoran. Baojia looks down and looks at her own toes. If White Fairy can see this finger, she will definitely associate it with the finger momentum that killed the elite vampire bat with one finger in the memory of the Black Shadow Venerable. In fact, after all, he is using the body of the acacia tree monster. He has spent a lot of effort to extinguish the flood. At this moment, the finger momentum is flashing with electric arcs and it is very powerful. However, it is far less effective than the finger he used to deal with the vampire bat. Thousands of years ago, his finger easily killed the elite vampire bats. When his finger falls, both the body and the soul of the bat monster are turned into dust and blown away by the wind. However, at this moment, when his finger falls, it only destroys the body that the fake saintess has tried so hard to reconstruct. A light green shadow appears. The green-skinned person whose face can't be seen clearly is the real face of the fake saintess. Lin Luoran secretly guesses. The man in robe seemed to hesitate for a short second. Maybe he remembered something about a light green planet. When he was about to add another finger, the green shadow smiled miserably, and a bright light radiated from the center of the shadow. As arrogant as she was, the biggest mistake she made in her life was to overestimate herself and hope for something that did not belong to her. She is so proud. If she is faced with a fatal situation, she would rather choose to do it herself than give the enemy a chance to humiliate her. Her name is Jingnan. She comes from the Mohano star in the depths of the universe. She is the most outstanding soldier of the empire. Jingnan, my name is Jingnan. Will you remember my name? There is a kind of vibrant flower tree on the Mohano star. Jingnan. She is not called Hanba, Daji, or Baosi. She is not a beautiful flower in the Huaxia civilization on the earth. She is the most common Jingnan flower that blooms all over the Mohano star. Shrouded by the comfortable warm light, Jingnan's consciousness begins to fade. She suddenly wants to go home. The saintess of the Jiuli tribe is dead. Baojia's tense heart suddenly relaxes. She is stunned and speechless for a moment. Compared with the amazing appearance of the fake saintess every time, the last scene of her life seems a bit lonely and ordinary. There is no vigorous resistance. Instead, it is a kind of heroic martyr. Mortals often say that nothing is more sad than a dead heart. The fake saintess has despised the earthlings for a lifetime. It seems a bit ironic that mortals often say the fake saintess actually dies in this common saying. Is this the pity of a hateful person? Come with me. The man in robe interrupts Lin Luoran's contemplation. Lin Luoran also has a lot to ask the man in robe. She smiles at Baojia apologetically. Lin Luoran and the man in robe land on a cliff with a waterfall. The environment here is quiet and it should be very suitable for the next conversation. What inheritor did the fake saintess say? Am I the inheritor you chose? It is a question. In fact, she has already confirmed the answer. She just wants to get the man in robe to admit it. Lin Luoran has been paying attention to the fake saintess. Now she finds that the clear sky is covered with dark clouds. The Green Mountains has just escaped the disaster of being submerged. It seems that heavy rain will soon come. The man in robe also notices the sky. The undisguised smile in his eyes fades a little. Yes, you are the chosen inheritor. Hearing the man in robe admit it, Lin Luoran suddenly wants to ask why she is chosen. Is it because of the little girl Momo who has something to do with her? Is she the descendant of Momo? Even. These questions surge on the tip of her tongue but she swallows them all. She only asks anxiously, where are you now? Inadvertently, she has changed the way she addresses him. The man in robe is not used to it. After a while, he smiles, where I am, the distance from the Earth star and this star territory can't be described specifically. In short, it is a very far place. Only if you keep moving forward on the road of personal ability enhancement, you will eventually arrive. It is just a matter of time. The distance that can't be described specifically may not be the distance of light years, but the difference between worlds. It is just like the distance between her and the Lin family. Lin Luoran feels lost. She can't imagine the level of the man in robe, so, will we meet again in the future? Just like now, whether he appears as someone else or teaches in dreams, as long as the man in robe is always there, she will feel at ease. Well, before you go to that place in person, we can only meet 3 times. Now the opportunity has been used up. The opportunity has been used up. How can it be? Lin Luoran is shocked. How can she see the man in robe 3 times? Wait, if Baojia was seriously injured before the new era is counted as 1 time, the teaching in dreams is counted as 1 time, and this time is counted as 1 time, it is really 3 times. The man in robe sees Lin Luoran's suddenly enlightened and disappointed expression. He knows that she doesn't know where the so-called 3 opportunities are. He decides not to correct her out of kindness. Although he has been witnessing her birth, growth, and opening space through the sacred pearl, this silly girl doesn't know how to explore the treasure cave. In the end, she even asks him to teach her how to train chi. Forget it. He has known that she is not very smart. There is nothing to be annoyed about. Then, before I succeed in personal ability enhancement and go to the place where you are, you can't come to see me like this again? Does it have to be only 3 opportunities? Lin Luoran is very distressed. Even with his ability, he can't break the world and come here. The man in robe points to the cumulonimbus clouds above his head. My appearance, even in the form of spiritual mind, may disturb the rules of time and space of this world. 3 opportunities have been used up. If there is another time, one of your relatives or your planet will be backfired by the rules of time and space, or the life of your relatives, the safety of your friends, or even the disappearance of the moon. Do you think you can accept it? Lin Luoran's eyes widen, then now you, the man in robe, looks sideways at the mountains and rivers. The smile in his voice disappears. He is a little helpless and a little sad. You don't have to worry. The rules of time and space will not backfire because of this. Because the me you see will only be exhausted after 3 attacks. The spiritual mind of my original body left in this world 10,000 years ago. Therefore, the real distance between us is not the distant starry sky, but the intertwining time in the primitive world for 10,000 years. Do you understand this explanation? Chapter 5:15. The spiritual mind of the man in robe has been used to save Lin Luoran's friend twice. Except teaching her to train chi, even this time, the sacred pearl has already pulled her primordial spirit into space. For cultivators of the gathering vitality period, the destruction of the physical body is not a big deal. They just need to change the physical body and recultivate. Because of the previous experience, it doesn't take more than a few hundred years for a cultivator of the gathering vitality period to regain the personal ability before the possession. Therefore, this crisis only makes Lin Luoran lose her physical body at most, but it doesn't endanger her life. The reason why the man in robe helps is that Lin Luoran's primordial spirit has a fundamental turbulence because of the violent emotional fluctuations. In the man in robe's view, as long as the primordial spirit is still there, no matter how beautiful or ugly Lin Luoran's physical body is, she is still Lin Luoran. Once the primordial spirit dissipates, even if there is a body with the same face as her, it is just a walking corpse. What's the point? If he didn't help her during the 2 times, he should be able to protect her during her personal ability enhancement. However, although Lin Luoran is not smart, she has been very thoughtful since she was a child. She is very loyal to others, and she will feel guilty if she does something wrong to others. About the 2 wasted chances, why does he say it out and let her think more? A small vortex appears in the cumulonimbus clouds in the sky. The vortex rotates at a high speed, pulling the clouds. Raindrops as big as soybeans have fallen. Lightning flashes and thunder roars suddenly, and the center of the vortex emits jumping electric arcs. The wind is so strong that some smaller trees have been uprooted. The big trees are falling down. Many soil particles have been swept into the vortex by the wind and disappear in the blink of an eye. Look, as soon as the 3 chances have passed, the law of time and space immediately responds. It doesn't stay any longer. The man in robe talks and jokes as if he is full of confidence for the reunion after separation. Lin Luoran has no doubt that if the man in robe continues to stay, the expanding vortex above his head will suck in the entire Green Mountains world. Is this the backfire of the law of time and space that the man in robe said? The man in robe trusts her very much. As the chosen inheritor, Lin Luoran has always been a very responsible person, although she has not yet learned what she wants to inherit. She can't just enjoy the power without fulfilling her obligations. Since she has enjoyed the magical pearl space and embarked on the road of personal ability enhancement, there will be a day when it is time for her to fulfill her responsibilities. As long as it doesn't violate the bottom line of morality, she will not shirk at all. Don't worry, I will work hard. The man in robe's eyes softened a little. For the first time, the smile that had not disappeared since he appeared reached his eyes. Yes, I believe you. I believe you never make careless promises. The vortex has doubled in size while they are talking. The man in robe knows that it is time to say goodbye. He wants to tell Lin Luoran something, but he doesn't. He just waves at her, nah, goodbye. Lin Luoran feels tears in her eyes. Her robe is already standing in the mountain wind and she slowly closes her eyes. The wind and rain abruptly stopped, and the mountain regained its tranquility. If it weren't for the broken branches of the trees and the knee-high grass on the ground, everything just now would be like a dream. Lin Luoran stares at the sky for a long time. She touches her cheek with her hand and then realizes that she is crying. The acacia tree monster's back is straight, still maintaining the posture before the clouds and rain suddenly disappear. Lin Luoran feels lucky and goes forward to call him in a low voice. The acacia tree monster opens her eyes after a while. Seeing the scene in front of her, her eyes are confused and alert. Anyone who suddenly loses consciousness and wakes up in a strange place will probably have the same reaction as her. Lin Luoran is disappointed. She instantly understands that the man in robe has really disappeared. In fact, it is better for an incarnation to return to his original place, right? Lin Luoran comforts herself and hides an indescribable strange emotion in her heart. What happened? Voidy raises her delicate eyebrows. For her, she can't have the emotion of confusion at all. Just for a moment, she becomes graceful, Voidy, again. Sure enough, the acacia tree monster and the man in robe have completely different feelings. Lin Luoran is a little melancholy and says lightly, it will be a long story. Are you sure you want to hear it? Voidy thinks that she inexplicably loses consciousness and wakes up on a strange mountain. It is like someone has stolen a period of time, which makes her lose face in front of Lin Luoran, a female cultivator. She finally snorts coldly and doesn't ask. Oh no. Thinking that the spirit herb she found is about to ripen in an instant, she turns into a burst of blue light and soars into the sky. She disappears from Lin Luoran's sight in the blink of an eye. Lin Luoran slowly walks down the mountain and goes to the riverside where Baojia is. Baojia stands by the water with a lonely back. She turns around and looks at Lin Luoran. She wants to say something but stops on second thought. Seeing her look, Lin Luoran thinks that Baojia left on her own because of the lark's bewitchment. Baojia wanted to help in the frozen green mountains but was caught by the fake saintess. Lin Luoran can't help but comfort her, she set me up at the beginning, but now you are in trouble. Baojia wants to shake her head to deny it. However, she thinks that the follow-up has not been finished yet. It is not a good time to talk now, so she swallows what she wants to say. The two walk along the river. The dragon skeleton left in the upper reaches of the river has been washed to the middle reaches by the flood. Lin Luoran puts it back into the space. She is a little worried about Cyan Little Fox and Liao left in the stone palace, especially Liao. Baojia's flying sword is lost in the stone palace. Lin Luoran naturally has to find it. The two make an appointment to go to the stone palace. Since she led her friend on the road of personal ability enhancement, Lin Luoran has fantasized about sharing the beautiful scenery of flying under the blue sky with her sister countless times. However, because of a series of accidents, it can only be realized after more than 300 years when she has gathered vitality and Baojia has gathered essence. It has to be said that fate makes fools of people. When they escaped, Baojia first used the blood escape spell, and then she was carried by the silver dragon all the way. Unknowingly, they have been thousands of kilometers away from the direction of the stone palace. It takes some time to fly back on the sword. When the two arrive at the stone palace, they find that not only Cyan Little Fox and Liao, even the thousands of ice pupas hanging upside down before have disappeared. It must be that the monsters have escaped when the seal is unlocked. What about Cyan Little Fox and Liao? Both a person and a fox are seriously injured. They can't leave alive and well in the blink of an eye, right? Shortly after Lin Luoran is rescued by Baojia, the lark takes the lead and hides into the tunnel with Cyan Little Fox and Liao. What the lark misses is that the underground tunnel directly connecting the inside and outside of the Green Mountains has long been blocked by ice. It takes 3 monsters and 2 wounded people. It is troublesome and dangerous to turn back. If it wants to go forward, the road ahead is blocked. The powerful blackback bear monster has been sullen for a long time because of today's experience. It has no way to vent its anger, and now it is in such a situation. It can't be angry with the lark who is kind enough to take them away. It punches the mountain wall angrily. A few pieces of Green Mountain stone fragments fall down. The lark turns its head and wants to get angry. However, it catches a glimpse of the place where the blackback bear punches. There are a few curved cracks on the mountain wall. What? The lark flutters its wings and flies over. This mountain is the highest point in the Green Mountains. It shouldn't be so weak, right? It pecks a few times with its beak and waves to the blackback bear happily. Come on, punch a few more times. It has to be said that the bear monster is strong and honest. It really walks forward honestly. In order to exert its strength, it puts Liao on the other side and punches the mountain wall a few times. After the 8th punch, the solid Green Mountain stone wall collapses backward, revealing a hole that can allow 2 people to enter and exit. If Liao is awake, he will be depressed. Why does he and Lin Luoran meet a lake? The stupid bear punches casually, but it actually opens another way by stepping on dog shit? The blackback bear picks Liao out of the lime on the ground and puts him on its back again. As the lark gives an order, they enter the stone cave one after another. Bears are blind bears. Even if bears have spiritual wisdom and personal ability, their eyesight is not very good. The blackback bear takes the lead and almost falls upside down. The lark's eyes twitch. It has to spit out a fireball from its mouth and fan it to its shoulder. The fireball is like a small light bulb, lighting up the dark stone cave. The mountain wall is smashed by the blackback bear's 8 punches. From the fracture, it seems to be 10 meters thick. It must have been hit by something before, so the cracks appear after the blackback bear's previous punches. The lark checks the fracture. There is no trace of inhibition, but the mountain wall is smooth. The mountain wall is obviously made by manpower. It is really strange. It looks into the cave. The stone cave is 10 meters square. There is only a big stone as high as 2 people standing in the northwest. There is no other way out. The lark is a little disappointed. Did the blackback bear smash the mountain wall? It doesn't give up. It turns over every corner of the stone room but finds nothing. When it is frustrated, it hears the blackback bear giggling. It turns out that the big round stone has turned into a few small flowers near the ground. The flowers are crooked, which are uglier than the graffiti of a rough bear, so it can't help laughing proudly. The lark can't figure out who turned a few small flowers here. The lines are distorted and the color is only half dyed. It seems to be a very common colorful flower on the Green Mountains. Anyway, there is no way forward and there are pursuers behind. The lark is not in a hurry to escape, so it just concentrates on studying the big round stone and the colorful flower marks. After studying for a long time, the 3 monsters have already made up their minds. The lark helplessly spreads its hands, indicating that they can either stay in the stone cave or go back the way they came. If they are unlucky, they will meet the evil woman who comes back. The 3 monsters of the blackback bear cower and are convinced by the sophistry of the lark. It is a pity that the fake saintess loses control of her emotions. The spread of the flame causes a flood in the Green Mountains. The lark almost scratches all the hair on its neck, but it still can't figure out anything. The ice melted quietly and turned into snow water that poured into the cave. She used the fact to teach the monsters a vivid lesson. There was only one entrance in the cave. When the snow water poured into the cave, the monsters immediately staggered from side to side. Liao is still on the back of the blackback bear. The cyan little fox, who is also unconscious, has been thrown out in time. It hits the big round stone heavily. The collision caused it to spit out another mouthful of fox blood, which coincidentally splashed onto the unfinished colorful flower. The last red petal is filled with fox blood. The outline of the colorful flower gradually brightens. The big round stone rumbles and moves aside, revealing the real way out. Chapter 5:16. When the flood comes, cyan little fox is even more injured. The fox blood happens to dye the last blank color of the colorful flower red, opening the secret door of the big round stone. Whether these monsters are willing or not, the next wave of flood comes one after another. For monsters, cyan little fox and Liao, who are unconscious, are all drawn into the stone cave together. This roller coaster ride in the stone cave is definitely not as enjoyable as surfing on the water in the amusement park. The stone cave is tortuous and changeable. There are protruding stones everywhere, and the space is sometimes wide and sometimes narrow. These monsters are knocked dizzy and fall heavily to the bottom of the cave. Except for the thick-skinned blackback bear monster, the condition of the lark and the other three monsters is not much better than cyan little fox. Coupled with the waves of snow flood, these monsters are soaked in the bloody water, moaning. Liao is hit hard and spits out a large pool of dark red dirty blood. However, he can breathe a little. However, he is so seriously injured that he can't wake up for a while. Cyan little fox is also choked by the snow water. The new and old injuries attack at the same time. It opens its eyes in pain. The blow of the fake saintess is mainly aimed at the illusion circle. Cyan little fox is affected because it is the one who set up the circle. Most of the attack is offset by the illusion circle before it collapses. Its injury is much lighter than that of Liao, who was attacked head-on. Its head is dizzy for a long time, but it still can't figure out why it falls into this strange world with these monsters. To be honest, although it has been living outside the Green Mountains since it was a child, it used to be protected by the white fox. Later, the Lin family doted on it. Later, it grew a second tail and returned to the underground world. It has no enemies now. How can it be wronged? In addition to being proud, cyan little fox is also delicate. It has been lying in the water for a long time and still hasn't recovered. It uses all four limbs and grits its teeth in pain. Then it swims to Liao, who is half floating on the water. Liao can breathe again. Cyan little fox is overjoyed. His situation is not very optimistic. He was hit by the fake saintess without any personal ability. Normally, ordinary mortals would die on the spot. However, this old guy has lived for thousands of years. Although he can't cultivate, he is very shrewd. He is not an ordinary person. As long as he is still breathing, he can be saved. It is a pity that it is not in the mountains now. Otherwise, it can find some common spirit herbs to relieve his injury. Cyan little fox sighs and accepts its fate. It prepares to use its inner breath to save him. When the fox wakes up, it has to call it, Grandpa Fox, 3 times to repay the life-saving grace. Cyan little fox comforts itself while trying to spit out the fox bolus. It adjusts its breath for a long time, but the fox bolus is still in its body. Cyan little fox is really anxious. It doesn't expect that its injury is more serious than it imagined. The fox's bolus is not responding at all. It was burning with anxiety. Its eyes darted around and finally stopped on the 4 demonic beasts. Hey, I'm talking to you. You stupid bear, where are you looking? The blackback bear breathes heavily. Bears are not smart, but no one can stand being called stupid in front of it. It swims to this side from the water and wants to beat the cyan little fox. Before grabbing cyan little fox's neck, the lark finally wakes up and shouts angrily, "Stop! Stop! Are you kidding me?" Looking at the sudden snow flood, they can't stay in the Green Mountains world anymore. The lark still expects cyan little fox to take them out of the Green Mountains. Otherwise, why does it take the reckless Liao with it? Isn't it giving cyan little fox some benefits? If the lark is strangled to death by the blackback bear, they will suffer in vain. The cyan little fox is so angry that it rolls its eyes because of the naked calculation in the lark's eyes. It is the most noble nine-tailed fox family in the Green Mountains. Although it only has 2 tails because of its poor strength, it is still humiliated by a low-born stinky bird. It keeps a straight face and doesn't say a word. The lark moans listlessly. It shivers in the snow water. "Hey, do you have a way to take us out of the Green Mountains?" After all, the nine-tailed fox family. It doesn't look very respectful when it speaks. After all, the nine-tailed celestial fox has disappeared from this world for a long time. For monsters like them, the nine-tailed fox has ruled the Green Mountains for a long time. They don't need to worry about some legends. Just like the Chiyu in the Stone Hall, as the former leader of the Jiuli tribe, he can catch the nine-tailed fox easily. Anyway, the nine-tailed fox is the guardian beast of the Jiuli tribe. Cyan little fox is so angry about the lark's attitude that it vomits blood. It is about to say something venomous when it sees Liao in a coma. It immediately changes its tone. "Oh, you want to go out? Let's save him with Monster Bolus first." When they save Liao, will cyan little fox keep its promise? Sorry, the little fox has never struggled in the direction of a moral youth. It is its style to turn its back on people. The lark sneers a few times. "Save him? Okay, but after leaving the Green Mountains." Cyan little fox is furious. Out of the Green Mountains? Damn it! As long as it gets out of this ghost cave, will it still need their help? The lark seems to know what it is thinking. It smiles. "Are you counting on the 2 human female cultivators? The one in the stone hall chased them out, but there is no movement now. They are probably dead." Bullshit. Cyan little fox stares at the lark and finally can't help swearing. Although Lin Luoran has always been labeled as a weak female cultivator, in its heart, how can it allow others to think so? After all, she is a gathering vitality cultivator, and the other one is a little weaker. Lin Luoran has a lot of secrets. Nothing bad will happen to her, right? The cyan little fox scolds the lark, which makes the atmosphere awkward again. The blackback bear stretches out its big paw to cover its swearing mouth. The cyan little fox scratches and scolds, which makes the lark so angry that it stinks. The lark lies down for a while and recovers. When it is about to teach this disobedient little fox a lesson, the snow water that has been pouring into the cave suddenly flows back out of the stone cave without warning. The snow water is drawn back by a suction force. The sudden situation makes the monsters and cyan little fox fall on the stone wall. Until the snow water completely recedes, cyan little fox lies paralyzed in the puddle on the ground, still staring at the lark fiercely. The lark can't help but turn its head away. It doesn't know why it wants to quarrel with this childish little fox. Of course, the snow flood won't retreat for no reason. It is most likely that the 2 parties fighting outside have already won. Who will win? The lark thinks that Lin Luoran has a 1 in 10,000 chance of winning. Without any miracle, she will probably be killed by the androgynous Chiyu now. Even cyan little fox has to bear it. At this moment, it is more worried than happy. Is she really dead? It thinks that it was caught by the fake saintess in the name of Chiyu, so Lin Luoran came to the Green Mountains. If she dies in the Green Mountains, will the Master Fox feel guilty for the rest of his life? Cyan little fox suddenly hates its low strength. What kind of king of the Green Mountains is this? Even a dead bird can come and bully it, but it can't help Lin Luoran. It suddenly feels stubborn and wants to get out of the stone cave. Cyan little fox struggles to stand up, but its claws are badly scratched on the uneven ground. It finally stands up shakily and falls heavily to the ground again. Cyan little fox is so angry that its eyes turn red. There is something wet on its face, which makes it uncomfortable. It wipes the blood on its face with its claws. It doesn't want to cry, but the fall is so painful that its tears flow out uncontrollably. Cyan little fox is stubborn and hurts itself even more. It doesn't feel anything, but the lark on the side doesn't despise it anymore. Although its strength is a little weak, it is really stubborn. If it wants to take them out of the Green Mountains, it really can't use force. The lark is still wondering if it should save the wretched old man on the ground first and give Cyan little fox some benefits. However, it doesn't know that Cyan little fox can't care about Liao at all now. The lark's seductive eyes are destined to be seen by the blind. After it hurts itself all over, it lies on the ground panting. In order to sit in a more spacious place, the black-back bear moves Liao to one side. However, it finds that there are smooth lines on the ground where Liao's body was originally pressed. Flower. Flower. Different from the random graffiti it saw under the big round stone before, this colorful flower on the ground is really lifelike and breathtakingly beautiful. Even the subtle veins on the leaves and petals can be seen clearly. It can be seen how careful the painter is. The lark flaps its wings and moves over. Looking at the colorful flower painted on the ground of the stone cave, it is easy to think of the reason why they come here. What happened before the round stone was moved away? It seems that the little fox was washed by the water and hit the round stone, right? Then, the lark looks at the colorful flower. It is obvious that one of the petals is deliberately not dyed, just like the one on the big round stone. Its eyes flash. Red, orange, red, green, cyan, blue, and purple. The colorful flower is like a rainbow, but it lacks red. The lark asks the black-back bear to get some blood on Cyan little fox and carefully dye the white petals. The outline of the colorful flower gradually brightens. The light is getting more and more dazzling. The four monsters can't help but close their eyes tightly. Only the half-dead Cyan little fox opens its eyes wide in disbelief. For the lark and others, the cyan light is particularly dazzling. It illuminates the dark stone cave and bathes the Cyan little fox in brilliance. Its wounds seem to be less painful. What surprises it even more is that the cyan light is projected on the wall of the stone cave. Mountains appear, flowers bloom, endless green, vibrant grassland, and dense forest. A cyan celestial fox with 9 tails is on the top of the highest mountain of the Green Mountains. It stretches its tail and absorbs the moonlight. It wears a wooden crown with cyan light on its head, which looks particularly mysterious and distant under the moonlight. What is this picture? The projection is alternating on the wall of the stone cave. There are hundreds of monsters kneeling to the king of the Green Mountains, there are priests of the Jiuli tribe praying for the protection of the 9-tailed fox tribe, and there are celestial foxes practicing under the moonlight. It seems that after a long time or just a moment, the fragrance of flowers comes from the virtual murals. A tray woven with green vines is pulled by 2 green vines, slowly descending from the top of the stone cave. The cyan crown lies there quietly, silently summoning Cyan little fox with its simple beauty. Chapter 5:17. The simple and low-key cyan light crown is forged with the spirit of all trees. It has a fatal attraction to Cyan little fox. There is a voice tempting Cyan little fox to wear it. Since Cyan little fox saw the crown for the first time, it has never looked away. The crown has a fatal attraction to it. Is it because of the unprecedented doubling of its desire for power under the stimulation, or is it just because the blood flowing under its sloppy appearance has always been deeply branded with the word royal? Cyan little fox is not sure. It feels that there is strength under its feet again. This time, it stands up smoothly and goes to the greenwood crown. Every step it takes, the feeling of being called becomes stronger. When it stops by the ivy tray, it only feels that all the blood in its body is rushing to its head. The blood is boiling, which makes it ignore the pain in its body. It stretches out its claws and trembles a little. However, its face is unusual. It is extraordinarily serious and solemn. As soon as Cyan Little Fox's claws are placed on the greenwood crown, a huge amount of information flows into its brain. Cyan Little Fox stands still. In the constant contraction and contraction of cyan light, the side face of Cyan Little Fox flickers, making it impossible to see its exact expression. Therefore, it is impossible to speculate whether what Cyan Little Fox is experiencing is good or bad. When the crown first appears, the four monsters can already open their eyes. They have been motionless because the picture projected on the wall is also a huge impact on them. The one standing on the top of the mountain in the painting should be the nine-tailed celestial fox, the legendary master of the Green Mountains world. Even the stupid blackback bear knows that the crown worn by the nine-tailed celestial fox in the painting is not only a symbol of status but also an important inheritance for the nine-tailed fox family. And Cyan Little Fox is accepting this inheritance. They treated it like that before. When things are over, will this little fox let them go? There is a moment of hesitation in the little eyes of the lark. Should it cut the weeds and eliminate the roots, or should it leave a way for a bird to meet again in the future? To be honest, it is not completely sure about the former choice. After all, what Cyan Little Fox is experiencing now should be a very important inheritance ceremony of the nine-tailed fox family. With the suspicious nature of the fox clan, it did not make sense for them to not be on guard at all. In a blink of an eye, the lark thinks of Chi-Yu, in the stone hall, who is always a man and sometimes a woman. Even if Cyan Little Fox really gets some inheritance, the first one it will fight should be Chi-Yu. It should be a good idea to wait for them to fight to the death. It has to be said that in this world, good people don't live long, but scourges stay for thousands of years. This truth applies everywhere, and it also applies to birds. The lark's careful thought saved its life. The Cyan Little Fox's expression changes. Its dark cyan pupils are empty, as if its soul has drifted far away. It felt that its experience was very strange. In an extremely short period of time, it had completed a grand adventure. The crown was like its eyes. Through the crown, what it saw was the nine-tailed fox clan, which was once very powerful in the Green Mountains world and even in the entire untainted land. The nine-tailed fox was an auspicious sign. Although they were powerful, compared with the primitive monsters who liked to eat human flesh and kill, the nine-tailed fox clan was actually the most gentle and powerful existence in the untainted land. As a totem worshipped a long time ago, people often referred to this clan as nine-tailed fox. However, they didn't know that there was only one in the entire clan with 9 real long tails. It was the king of the nine-tailed fox clan, and it was also the strongest who protected the entire clan. Once a new nine-tailed fox cultivated the 9th tail, the old celestial fox would pass down the greenwood crown. He would go through heaven's doom alone and become a real fox fairy. Because they rarely did evil, it was rare to hear that they failed the heaven's doom. The greenwood crown not only witnessed the strength of the nine-tailed fox clan, but also the helplessness of the last fox king when he was forced to leave. The Cyan Little Fox always felt that the celestial fox who breathed under the moon looked very kind. The information that poured into its mind showed that it and the nine-tailed celestial fox were really related by blood. However, the nine-tailed celestial fox didn't say where the nine-tailed fox clan moved. On the contrary, it hoped that its descendants could protect the Green Mountains on its behalf after getting the Greenwood Crown, to wait for the return of the nine-tailed fox clan. Will its ancestors really return to the Green Mountains? As the last nine-tailed fox staying on the earth, the Cyan Little Fox was lonely. There was no companion of its own kind. No matter how much love the Lin family gave it, there was always a trace of regret in its heart. However, compared with the promise of the nine-tailed celestial fox to tempt it to take over the heavy burden, what it urgently needed at the moment was obviously the power that the Greenwood Crown could bring. It would be good to have its own kind. Even if it didn't, it still had Linny, right? Compared with its strange and emotionless kin, it cared more about the safety of Lin Luoran, who had always indulged it and treated it as a family. The cyan little fox couldn't digest the huge amount of information for a while. It glanced at the key points and its eyes became clear again. It didn't care about the thoughts of the lark and other monsters at all. The cyan little fox changed its previous hesitation and trembling. It used its claws as hands and steadily held up the greenwood crown. According to the Real inheritance ceremony of the nine-tailed fox clan, at this moment, the old celestial fox should personally put on the crown for it. The cyan little fox didn't care at all. Anyway, it was the last nine-tailed fox left. Those old things didn't have any choice. As soon as it grew 2 tails, it got the crown of inheritance. The cyan little fox could be regarded as unprecedented. The cyan little fox put the crown on its head. At the moment when the crown was put on its head, endless monster power surged into the cyan little fox's body. It circled around the meridians in its body again and again. The fox's bolus expanded rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. It felt its tail was itchy and uncomfortable. Something was drilling out. The severe pain made the cyan little fox couldn't help but raise its head and make a long roar. The roar lingered in the narrow stone cave. The 4 monsters looked behind the cyan little fox in horror as if they had seen a ghost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tails. At a speed visible to the naked eye, the soaring strength of the cyan little fox didn't slow down until the 6th tail grew behind it. When the 6 tails were shaking behind the cyan little fox, it was so painful that it wanted to die immediately. The 4 monsters and the cyan little fox hiding in the depths of the stone cave didn't know that the Green Mountains world had been completely shocked at this moment. All kinds of vegetation in the Green Mountains world, which was damaged by the frozen snow flood for the 2nd time, instantly rejuvenated. Ordinary animals lay on the ground in the direction of the Green Mountains. Even the monsters with successful cultivation had to desperately restrain their impulse to kneel in the direction of the Green Mountains. A brilliant rainbow hung above the Green Mountains. The disaster-prone Green Mountains world suddenly ushered in a clear sky. The first clear sky after the snow was, The new king is born. The old mountain deer, who had lived in the deep mountains for many years, suddenly had bright eyes. It knelt down tremblingly and kowtowed 3 times and 9 times in the direction of the Green Mountains. A large number of younger generations of the mountain deer tried to help the ancestor up, but they were severely reprimanded. The new king of the Green Mountains has appeared. Why don't you kneel down? Is the old ancestor muddle-headed? What new king of the Green Mountains? The mountain deer kept discussing. Before the old mountain deer flew into a rage, they had to kowtow 3 times and 9 times in the same direction as the old mountain deer said. After the mountain deer, the same reaction happened to the mountain sparrow, the one-horned ox, the wolf, and the wild horse. The Green Mountains world became boiling. Voidy properly placed the ripe and fallen spirit fruit in the jade box before she had time to listen to the conversation of the monsters in the mountain. A group of monsters seemed to be crazy, worshipping the new king of the Green Mountains. Voidy was a little surprised. She had heard a lot of secrets about the 9-tailed fox in the Green Mountains world in the past. She only knew that the 9-tailed fox family had long abandoned this world. She never expected that a new king would be born after a few years. However, in the direction they kowtowed, a force overflowed and swept the entire Green Mountains world. The spirit fruit she asked for was also nourished and ripened a lot earlier. Could it be that the 9-tailed fox bloodline really existed in the world and cultivated the 9th tail? In this case, it happened to be the coronation of the Fox King. According to the tradition of the monster race, she had to prepare a big congratulatory gift. Voidy sighed. After sleeping for so many years, she had nothing good with her. The spirit fruit she just got was of great benefit to Shisandra. She would never give it away. It seemed that she could only use the storehouse of Shisandra. Voidy began to think about what kind of congratulatory gift she should give in order to be appropriate. The old ancestors of the demon clan were facing the same problem as her. After a few years, the Green Mountains world suddenly had news of the celestial fox. What kind of treasure should they give to make them pay more attention to the coronation of the new king? As early as the moment when the first snow cleared up, the breath sweeping the green mountains had already brought Lin Luoran a surprise. Of course, she and Baojia didn't know that the Fox King appeared in the world. Lin Luoran only keenly noticed the smell of cyan little fox in the breath. The breath first came from the soil slope not far away. Lin Luoran ran out happily. Seeing the broken colorful flowers miraculously resurrected all over the slope, she had an intuition that it had something to do with Cyan Little Fox. She didn't care what adventures Cyan Little Fox had. Only when she saw Cyan Little Fox and Liao who had disappeared earlier could she really feel at ease. However, the breath disappeared in the blink of an eye after sweeping the green mountains. Lin Luoran couldn't track it and could only wait. Baojia wanted to persuade her, but she just quietly stayed behind her and gave her silent support. She waited until the sun sank in the west and the rainbow disappeared. The breeze blew through the colorful flowers on the hillside. On the distant hillside, a young man in a green shirt appeared. The young man wore a green summer shirt with white edges. His face was like jade and his hair was like sandalwood. He came slowly in the afterglow of the setting sun. Lin Luoran's puzzled eyes only stayed on his face for a moment. Then she looked at the person he was carrying. Is it Liao? The young man who suddenly appeared had a pair of big watery eyes, which made her feel strangely familiar. The beautiful young man in a green shirt put Liao on the grass not very gently. He grinned at Lin Luoran. He was so charming that Lin Luoran was dazzled. Well, let's get to know each other again. My name is Hu Ji. Hu as in Hubugue, Ji as in Ji after the rain. Hu Ji. Lin Luoran felt dizzy because of his big peach blossom eyes. It took her a long time to wake up. Chapter 518. Aren't Cyan Little Fox's big watery eyes like Bambi's? Lin Luoran feels it is familiar because Cyan Little Fox took some of Luodong's facial features as a reference when it transformed. After all, when the little fox was growing up, Luodong was probably Lin Luoran's favorite person of the same sex. People always talk about fox spirit. Because of the influence of strange novels such as Investiture of the Gods and Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio, people think that fox spirits are all beautiful and enchanting women who will knock on the door of scholars who study at night under the hazy moonlight. In fact, before the fox clan transforms, there is no gender. However, once you choose to be a man or a woman, it can never be changed. Before Hu Ji transforms, he always has the voice of a young man. He probably has never thought of transforming into a charming female fox. In addition, he thinks that as the new fox king of the nine-tailed fox tribe, he can only rely on his face to make a living or even lose face. Therefore, he only transforms into a handsome young man. However, the natural charm of the fox tribe makes Hu Ji's clear big eyes look blurred and intoxicated every time he opens and closes. After looking at Hu Ji, Lin Luoran can't help but peek at Baojia. If Baojia didn't say it, who would know that Qin Baojia, who used to be a big woman, likes to tease the weak and beautiful young man? Baojia is a little worried. She is not excited to see a beautiful young man at all. Lin Luoran sighs. Sure enough, people forget their past after being reborn. Their personalities, hobbies, and aesthetics are very different. While asking Hu Ji what happened, she checks Liao's injury at the same time. Hu Ji picks the key points to talk about. Of course, it is too shameful for the lark and other monsters to plot against him. He can't talk about it in detail. Hu Ji focuses on finding the greenwood crown and saving Liao. Lin Luoran only notices the low-key wooden crown used by the young man to tie his hair. It seems inconspicuous, but it makes Hu Ji's strength soar from 2 tails to 6 tails. He can transform. Except for people, even crown can't be judged by its appearance. As for Liao, I've already treated him, but his injuries are very strange. Hu Ji is somewhat frustrated. When he had 2 tails, he was so weak. Now his strength breaks through to 6 tails. It takes so much time. Even Liao can't cure him. It is so shameful. Lin Luoran carefully checks the condition of Liao's body. Hu Ji's treatment is very appropriate. He can only continue other treatments if his heart is protected. Hu Ji's inner bolus has been eating all kinds of spirit medicine since he was a child. It is simply a super rejuvenating elixir. Liao's situation is weird. It is reasonable to say that after receiving the essence of Hu Ji's fox bolus, his heart meridian is protected, and vitality is restored in his body. It should be time for Liao to wake up, but he doesn't show any sign of waking up. Lin Luoran checks his body functions again and again to make sure that everything is normal. She gives up the breath of his meridians and goes to the pubic field of a cultivator. It was a very weak energy fluctuation that could be overlooked if one was not paying attention. Could it be that Liao got a blessing in disguise this time? With the fake saintess's merciless blow, the seal in his body was broken? It seems that they can only know it when Liao wakes up. Lin Luoran is relieved. She looks up and smiles, maybe it's a good thing. Let's wait for him to wake up. Hu Ji nods. In the past, it was impossible for him to transform in a short time, so he acted cute and messed around. Who knows, he can transform suddenly. At least let him keep his image, right? The young man's peach blossom eyes are covered with a layer of mist. He is very distressed about how to face Lin Luoran, including how to meet Ma Shuangshuang and others after returning to Dongting. God, which fox king can kill him with thunder? Lin Luoran is not as calm as she looks. Well, although the cyan little fox can speak when they meet again 300 years ago, Lin Luoran is a little bit mentally prepared. However, when the cyan little fox suddenly becomes a teenager as tall as her, Lin Luoran still feels quite embarrassed. When Hu Ji was a child, she didn't do anything worse than pinching his face and lifting his neck, right? After all, Lin Luoran is a gathering vitality cultivator. Except for the man in robe who suddenly appears out of nowhere, few people can make her emotional fluctuate violently. After listening to Hu Ji's experience, Lin Luoran also tells the story of how the fake saintess was killed. The beautiful young man sighs. As for whether he was lamenting about the impermanence of the world, or his advancement was useless, only Hu Ji himself knew the answer. So, what are you going to do next? The newly appointed Fox King of the Green Mountains can't just leave with her. Lin Luoran asks Hu Ji about his plan, and he is also very embarrassed. According to his temperament, all responsibilities and burdens are just floating clouds. He can grow medicine, eat well, have fun, quarrel with others, and be spoiled. Living such a life is his lifelong pursuit. However, he just took advantage of the Greenwood crown. Even if Hu Ji wants to burn the bridge after crossing it, the former Fox King may really come back from another world and strangle him personally. He shivers quietly. Hu Ji feels that it is more appropriate to deal with the Green Mountains world, which has no manager, for a long time first, and then sneak out to live a life of fine clothes and delicious food. With a plan in mind, Hu Ji smiles at Lin Luoran. The Green Mountains world should be very lively tomorrow. Do you want to stay and watch the ceremony, Linny? In the last light of the setting sun, the teenager's words are bewitching. His long and dense eyelashes cast a small shadow on his face. This scene is enough to kill all girls of the same age and strange aunties who are greedy for flowers in the world. Lin Luoran desperately tells herself that rolling her eyes is a very unladylike action which is not in line with the identity of a gathering vitality cultivator. However, Hu Ji has gone too far. With a young face, he calls her Linny. Isn't it too rude? Anyway, she raised him for a while. Hu Ji looks at her with a kind of, Linny, you know what I mean, look like. Whether in terms of physical or psychological age, the young Hu Ji is more than qualified to call Lin Luoran Linny. Lin Luoran sighs. Compared with witnessing a grand ceremony, she needs a lot of 10,000-year hollow azurite. Fire Phoenix and Silver Dragon are seriously injured this time. The aftermath of the fierce battle must be put on the agenda as soon as possible. The new king is crowned. Monsters of the Green Mountains come here one after another with the gifts they have carefully selected. For the elders, this is the tradition of the Green Mountains. However, for the new generation of monsters, they want to know more about the temperament and strength of the new king. Is the new Fox King powerful? Will the new Fox King enslave the monsters of the Green Mountains? These are what they urgently need to know. Of course, there are also some troublemakers. They are also very dissatisfied with the sudden appearance of a dead fox who was not famous before and wanted to take over the entire Green Mountains world as soon as she appeared. In short, the grand and gorgeous celebration of all monsters in Huji's imagination is actually surging. The new Fox King has been crowned. The former magnificent residence of the nine-tailed fox family has long been gone. Lin Luoran and the other two work hard for a whole night. Finally, they rebuild the most magnificent building left on the Green Mountains, the stone hall where Qi Yu was once sealed into Huji's new home. Huji, the arrogant teenager, feels a little unlucky. He is defeated by Baojia's cold expression of, "If you keep talking, we will leave." He has to pinch his nose and accept this new residence. In fact, Lin Luoran has thought a lot. Many years ago, she accidentally got the monster cores of monsters from Master Mu and Master Gua. She has moved all the exotic flowers and herbs planted in space out to decorate the stone hall. As a senior jewelry designer, Baojia is very good at the combination of color, texture, and lines. With her advice, she makes changes in the details with limited resources. The gloomy feeling of the entire stone hall disappears. It adds a little ethereal in the solemnity, which is very suitable for Huji's youthful appearance. Lin Luoran also wants to release the music doll. Unfortunately, her ocean of consciousness is injured. She can't use the power of faith, so she has to give up. The mist in the morning has not dissipated yet. The new Fox King, Huji, is trying to put the last piece of fried egg into his mouth. The monsters who come to congratulate have already gone up to the Green Mountains. The leading monster is actually the lark who has a little conflict with Huji. It is holding a colorful spirit fruit. In Huji's eyes, it is really a good thing that is rare even in the Green Mountains world. However, with Huji's narrow-mindedness, the lark itself is a bit of a fence-sitter. This kind of character can also be a kind of resistance if it is used well. Therefore, to the lark's surprise, Huji not only doesn't lose his temper on the spot, but also accepts its gift with a smile. Lin Luoran nods secretly. There is no fox in the world that is stupid. If Huji really works hard, the monsters in the Green Mountains world will not be able to do anything. Maybe they will even count the money for him after they are sold. This damned fox's appearance after taking on a human form was truly harmless to man and beast. The corners of Lin Luoran's eyes twitch. She watches the monsters coming one after another with the old and the young. When the sun rises to the highest point, the stone hall is not only filled with all kinds of gifts, but also with all kinds of strange monsters. The bustling solemn stone hall finally becomes a zoo that is not calm at all. This is clearly a contempt for the new Fox King. Even Lin Luoran can't stand those naked eyes. With Huji's calculative character, she can almost foresee their tragedy. Huji looks at all the monsters in the hall coldly. On the surface, he is respectful and expectant, but his eyes are more provocative, calculating, and contemptuous. Huji's eyes are big and misty. He really doesn't seem to have any prestige. It's expected that he can't control the crowd. However, these monsters who come to worship are more like watching a joke. Huji can't accept it. No matter whether he is a fox or a man, the most important thing for him is face. Huji clears his throat. You have come from afar. I don't have anything to entertain you. Don't mention it. Fox King, you are too polite. It's time to come to visit the Fox King. The chatting sounds make the zoo more like a vegetable market. Huji smiles more amiably. You can't go back to the zoo now. You are really considerate. Then I will comply with the public opinion and will not entertain you. After a while of discussion, the monsters are quiet. They just stare at the young man transformed by Huji with a pair of eyes. Oh, he looks very soft, but his words are quite blunt. Hu Ji's big eyes are so misty that they are about to overflow, covering all his shrewdness. He smiles brightly and looks extremely gentle, but since you are all here, I have to take the opportunity to announce the new rules of the Green Mountains world. Fox King, please go ahead. This is the monster who notices something wrong and becomes a little sober. Oh, what rules? This is the monster who is deceived by Hu Ji's appearance and becomes more and more arrogant. Hu Ji just pretends not to hear the arrogant words. He looks around at the monsters in the field with a smile and raises a finger with distinct joints. First, all the natural treasures of the Green Mountains world belong to the state. Do you understand the state? Since I am the only one left in the fox family, everything belongs to me. Second, what I said is the new rule of the Green Mountains world from now on. Third, please refer to the first and second rules for dealing with all emergencies. Before the monsters react, Lin Luoran is lowering her head to drink a mouthful of spirit wine. She can't help but spit it out. It has to be said that the beautiful young man Hu Ji is very strong and violent. By the way, the editor informed me that there will be an interview with Zongheng Radio on July 3rd. It's an honor and a great opportunity. Now I have begun to collect questions. If you have anything to ask about, whether it is about the Lin family, some gossip, or new books, you can leave a message. The staff will select and summarize them. On the 3rd of next month, Bao will answer them one by one on the spot. Please do your best. Don't let me have an exclusive interview. It's very shameful. You can leave a message with the following link. Chapter 5:19. As soon as Hu Ji's 3 so-called rules come out, Lin Luoran spits out the monkey wine in the cellar. How powerful, how shameful, how domineering are these 3 rules? Why didn't I know that Hu Ji is so ruthless before? However, the 2-tailed cyan little fox's words are just arrogant words. The 6-tailed pink boy Hu Ji obviously has the strength to talk big. Hu Ji, Lin Luoran, and even the lark hiding in the corner knows about this. Unfortunately, most of the other monsters who come to congratulate them don't know it. There is one thing that even Lin Luoran and Hu Ji don't know. The 6-tailed 9-tailed fox is even a headache for the fake saintess who reshapes her body. Hu Ji looks coldly at the monsters who are pretending. He closes his big eyes slightly and gives them an innocent smile. No matter whether the monsters are laughing at him in their hearts or not, Hu Ji stomps his feet suddenly. The green mist that is not much thicker than a hair floats in the stone hall. Lin Luoran sees the monsters entangled by the green mist and her expression changes. The scene in front of her has also changed. Sunshine, beach, coconut trees, hanging fishing rods. She can feel the sea breeze with a slightly salty smell when she closes her eyes. Everything seems very realistic. Is this the real power of the 9-tailed fox family to create dreams? Lin Luoran sees Hu Ji holding 3 big hard fruit shells that are cut open from the middle. He walks closer and sees that there is red and green juice inside. Lin Luoran is very happy. Is he really going to treat us to fake drinks? Hu Ji glares at her. How is it possible? Anyway, there are a lot of monsters who bring spirit fruits to congratulate them. It's okay to squeeze 3 glasses of juice now. Lin Luoran shrugs and hands a glass to Baojia, who is silent. She chooses a glass for herself and sips it slowly. The fruity aroma is mixed with the collision of Reiki molecules. Her taste buds and body are greatly satisfied. In fact, if one wants to enjoy the life of a cultivator, it is really the best in the world with gorgeous clothes and gourmet food. Lin Luoran finishes drinking the juice. She glances at Baojia, who is lying on a chair and basking in the sun silently. She always feels that Baojia has been weird since the fake saintess appeared. Baojia doesn't tell her the details. Lin Luoran is about to ask Baojia when Hu Ji asks her to go fishing. The tide has just ebbed on the beach. Hu Ji asks her to dig oysters. Lin Luoran is speechless. Digging oysters in the illusion is really hard. She can't really eat them. Why does she want to torture herself? Huji laughs at her stupidity. He hands her a small bucket and teaches her how to identify oyster nests through bubbles. Lin Luoran is suspicious. Why do you know this? Just change into a human. Isn't Huji too smart? Who can explain to her how a fox learns to gather seafood? Huji spread his hands. Ask old Liao. Yes, how could I forget Liao? Before he cheated me into taking over the Dongting Dragon Palace, Liao had been a fisherman for decades. When Huji was on the Edward, he hung out with Liao all day long. Liao is a person who has nothing to do, so it is natural for him to tell Huji about the past. Lin Luoran doesn't doubt him and puts this matter aside. She really carries a small bucket to study the small air bubbles on the beach. The young man breathes a sigh of relief behind her. The six-tailed fox is so scared that it breaks into a cold sweat because it said something wrong. It takes a lot of effort to make it clear. In fact, as long as he can remember, he has been staying in the underground world of the desert. Then he lived in the Lin family and the Green Mountains world. He has never seen the sea. The description of the sea does not come from the unreliable Liao, but from Mr. Lin, who has the best temper in the Lin family. Thinking of the missing Lin family, of course, he can't mention Mr. Lin in front of Lin Luoran, which will make her sad. Lin Luoran squats down to study for a while. She shakes the sand and finally recognizes the bubbles in the oyster hole. She digs down along the bubbles. There are small oysters hidden in dozens of centimeters. Looking at the small black oysters covered with sand in her hand, Lin Luoran feels a little sorry. It is a pity that it is not true. She hasn't tasted Lufa oyster soup for a long time. She is drooling. Seeing her happily digging oysters, Huji thinks she is really a stupid woman. He sits back in the chair. Baojia is staring at Lin Luoran in a daze. Huji has noticed her strange look early. Lin Luoran doesn't think in that direction, but he can see it clearly as an outsider. Of course, he is no stranger to Qin Baojia. The fake saintess took him away from the earth with Baojia's physical body. Later, Baojia's ocean of consciousness was destroyed. She was in a coma for several years. Most of the time, she was raised in the Lin family. Huji had been entrusted to Lin Luoran at that time. He often ran around the house and often saw Baojia, who lost her soul. He is famous for being heartless, so he doesn't feel much sympathy for her. He just feels that this little female cultivator is a little unlucky. Her personal ability enhancement is completely destroyed at the beginning. Unexpectedly, Lin Luoran really works hard to find the soul wood for her friend. She also forcibly occupies the old house of the Qingqing Taoist temple. She sets up the yin and yang dust circle with the crazy Taoist whom he can't see through just to save Qin Baojia. Huji is trapped in the Green Mountains world, so he doesn't know what happened later. However, when he saw Qin Baojia with Lin Luoran, they were already on the Nami planet countless light years away. The unlucky little female cultivator in those years becomes a bearing essence cultivator in the past, but she has a new life. She is a completely strange name, Nolan Mancia. She looks at Lin Luoran with vigilance and indifference. Except that she still loves jewelry design, she is probably not the best friend that Linny often misses. Huji thinks that Linny must be very sad at that time. But what is the situation now? Qin Baojia looks at Linny in a strange way. Should he remind little Linny? Huji holds his chin and looks at the stupid gathering vitality female cultivator, who is wasting her energy digging oysters. He decides to let Lin Luoran discover the truth herself. Oh, he won't admit it. He just wants to see if someone will cry when she is very sad and happy. The teenager's eyes become more and more blurred. He doesn't realize his bad taste at all. Lin Luoran digs a bucket full of oysters. In the end, she feels very boring because she can't eat them. She drops the bucket and goes back to the recliner. She moves a few fruits from the space and instructs the beautiful teenager Hu Ji to continue squeezing juice. The dreamy teenager's face instantly darkens. Lin Luoran shakes a real crayfish in her hand. Let's work together. Fry the crayfish and then fry the squid. Well, add 2 side dishes. Before Lin Luoran finishes her tempting words, Hu Ji is drooling. He nods quickly. Stop talking. I'll squeeze. I'll squeeze. People close to Lin Luoran all know that she has a portable vegetable and fruit garden. Under Lin Luoran's skillful hands, any ingredients can bring surprises to people. As for the extraordinary function of planting spirit medicine and spirit herbs in the portable space, in the eyes of foodies, it is not as good as the fruit of the 4 seasons produced in the space, fruit wine made from fruits, vegetables that are always fresh in the 4 seasons, mountain products. Oh, since the upgrade, there are also aquatic products and meat. No, she can't think about it anymore. Her saliva is about to flow out again. Lin Luoran also appreciates the extra lake in the space, which makes the variety of the portable vegetable basket more abundant. To be honest, the higher her personal ability is, the less she relies on the spirit herbs and spirit medicine in the space. She regards farming more as a kind of pleasure rather than the help of spirit herbs for personal ability. In any case, the personal ability accumulated by external forces is not as solid as her own hard work and advancement step by step. Lin Luoran fishes a kilogram of crayfish from the water grass by the lake and makes several fat freshwater fish. She takes some fresh squid, selects the ingredients and brings the tableware. Seeing that everything is ready, Lin Luoran goes out of the space. Crayfish needs to be washed and it is troublesome to eat. Even a foodie like Lin Luoran rarely makes this dish with wine. Unexpectedly, Baojia, who has been silent, volunteers to wash the crayfish. Oh, the belly is the dirtiest. Remove the top part of the tail, and you can pick out the shrimp line. Lin Luoran is afraid that she doesn't know, so she tells her the key to washing crayfish. Baojia listens patiently, but her eyes turn red when she turns back to wash. Fried crayfish needs a lot of dried chili, pepper, garlic, white parts of green onions, in addition to the unique bean sauce from the center of Chuan province. Well, if you like vegetarian dishes, you can also add cucumber, potato slices and lettuce slices. Anyway, all crispy ingredients can go well with spicy crayfish. Spicy crayfish and hot squid are hot. Lin Luoran chooses to steam the fresh fish with honey. After it is out of the pot, she squeezes a few drops of lemon juice on it. She doesn't need to add any seasoning. The sweetness of the honey and the acidity of the lemon juice can already make the freshwater fish more tender. Lin Luoran cleans up the fish quickly. Baojia has already washed all the crayfish. The ingredients are ready. Lin Luoran's control of the fire is even better than that of a gathering vitality cultivator. Soon, Lin Luoran makes a large basin of spicy crayfish, a plate of honey-steamed fish, a large plate of hot squid, and 2 stir-fried vegetables. Lin Luoran puts them on the table. As soon as the order was given, a nascent soul cultivator, a core formation cultivator, and a newly appointed 9-tailed fox king stretched out their arms and ate heartily. Fortunately, no one saw them in the illusion. The 3 of them ate without caring about their image. They really disgraced the entire cultivation world. After eating and drinking, Lin Luoran destroys the corpses of the crayfish and enjoys the delightful food. Lin Luoran finally has time to think about other monsters. Speaking of which, what did you do to them? Lin Luoran doesn't believe that Hu Ji will let those monsters enjoy the same treatment as the sun and the beach. Hu Ji burps without caring about his image. After being reminded by Lin Luoran, he finally remembers that there is a group of disobedient subjects outside the illusion. It's time to go out and see them. It seems that they have been delayed a little too long. Linny's food is so delicious that they deserve to suffer for a while. The young Fox King shamelessly blames himself for his negligence. He snaps his fingers very handsomely. Lin Luoran and Baojia find themselves back to the stone hall in the blink of an eye. Well, what is so stinky? I just ate enough. Who doesn't take care of the environment? Lin Luoran looks at the fainted monsters in the hall. She pinches her nose and casts a big cleaning spell. She sweeps some yellow and white things out of the hall. Then she breathes heavily. The subjects are so useless. Hu Ji's face is gloomy. He takes back the entangled green mist and directs a pot of spider plants in the corner to turn into many long green flexible whips to wake up the fainted monsters one by one. When the monsters wake up slowly, no matter what they thought before and how much they hate Hu Ji at this moment, they all wail when they think of the real and flawless illusion. A fish monster is even ridiculous. It jumps forward and clumsily hugs Hu Ji's trouser leg with its fin. It shouts 3 times, "My king, please spare my life." Because it is too emotional, it faints again in the next second. All the monsters are woken up. They kneel down one after another like the fish monster. For a while, the 4 words, "My king, please spare my life," are echoing in the stone hall. Hu Ji proudly raises his eyebrows and smiles at Lin Luoran. Chapter 520. Under the green sky, the monsters of the Green Mountains world are standing on the vast grassland. At this moment, they are all full of tears, respectfully sending their new king away. Their faces are full of excitement. Instead of reluctance, it is more like they feel lucky and relaxed. "Don't worry, my king. We won't use the natural treasures of the Green Mountains at will. Yeah, spirit fruits will also be picked on time so that the monkeys can make fruit wine. My king, you must have a good time outside. My king, when will you go back, huh?" Being stared at by a group of angry monsters, the monster who said the wrong thing is embarrassed. It even wants to bite off its own tongue. "Come back. My king should have more fun outside. It's better if he doesn't come back." Seeing Hu Ji's dark face, Lin Luoran holds back her smile and coughs twice, signaling Hu Ji not to waste any more time. Hu Ji carries Liao on his back. He still has a clear temperament. Although his face is dark, he knows that these monsters are afraid of him. They can't make trouble in a short time, so he doesn't care if someone accidentally tells the truth. However, Hu Ji moves his eyes to the acacia tree monster standing aside. She has sent a big gift and only wants to stay in the Green Mountains for a while. Hu Ji can understand her. After all, the Reiki environment of the earth is terrible now. It is very difficult for her to save the Shisandra. "Hey, you stay in the Green Mountains and behave yourself. Don't make trouble." Monsters promise again and again that they will definitely keep an eye on the outsider acacia tree monster. Hu Ji is so angry that he laughs at these idiots. He kicks away a few nearby monsters and takes them away from the Green Mountains world. All monsters are very envious. After the Green Mountains world is sealed, only the 9-tailed fox family can go in and out freely. However, the new king said that the Green Mountains is now a scorched land. The Reiki of heaven and earth is thin and chaotic. Compared with staying in a paradise like the Green Mountains, isn't it more secure? The Green Mountains world was separated from the primitive land thousands of years ago. They used to blame the celestial fox for meddling in other people's business. Now thinking about it, the 9-tailed fox family is very foresight. In addition, the crisis of the Green Mountains was solved by the friend of the new Fox King. In this way, although monsters have different temperaments, they are not without conscience. At least, they have a little more sense of belonging to the new Fox King. Oh, only half a point, look at what he did to them. Hu Ji takes Lin Luoran and Liao on his back to break the world together. When they return to the earth, Lin Luoran takes a while to get used to the environment that is very different from the Green Mountains. She can't help but ask curiously, "What did you do to those monsters?" It's hard to imagine what kind of environment can make those monsters cry for help after they wake up. They are willing to serve Hu Ji as the new king. There is still a long way to go back to Dongting. Lin Luoran can't help but ask. Hu Ji shrugs, "I'm just putting the things they don't want to see the most, the things they don't want to see the most, the things they hate the most, right in front of them. For example, he put a fish spirit in a dry desert. The fish spirit was almost scared to death because of the lack of water. Lin Luoran shivers. When it comes to catching people's weaknesses, Hu Ji is simply a master. All the way to Dongting, Baojia returns to the place where Chao is raised first. However, Lin Luoran and Hu Ji slow down. Although she has only stayed in the Green Mountains for a month, the atmosphere outside Dongting City has been very different. The scorched fields opened a month ago have been subcontracted to volunteers to plant various plants. To improve the soil and water, the first thing to plant is trees. Common green trees, such as laurel, bauhinia, and peach, which are delicate green species, are certainly not suitable. After the new era, the earth is shrouded by dust particles, and the climate is hot and humid. Lin Luoran checks the information and prepares most of the tree species. Most of them are evergreen hard-leaved vegetation, which is more suitable than evergreen broad-leaved forest. The environment of the latter is more difficult than that of coniferous forest. It grows in places with humid air but arid soil. It is a kind of dry forest in a humid climate. For example, Quercus rubens, which originally grew in the Hubei and Hunan provinces, Phoebe, which is a precious wood, and so on, are common and economically beneficial evergreen shadow-leaved forests. With their support, it is easier for other species to survive. Lin Luoran can see that after a month, the survival rate of these evergreen hard-leaved forests is still 60%, at least more than half. The survival rate of various fruit trees, which are more difficult to serve, is only 30%. Lin Luoran also happens to pass by Han Weiya's land. There are obvious traces of replanting. 50% of the pine trees have survived. It seems that Han Weiya takes good care of them. Hu Ji is only interested in planting medicine. Seeing Lin Luoran looking carefully, he reminds her that she still has Liao with her. Lin Luoran finally changes her mind. She has to go back to Dongting to settle down first. It only takes 2 hours to get from the Green Mountains to Dongting. It is only 10 o'clock in the morning. It is the time when young people in the Ma's villa cultivate hard. As a laying foundation cultivator, Ma Shuangshuang's personal ability is the best among them. She acts as a half-teacher to guide Ma Yiming and the other two to cultivate. Ma Yiming doesn't want to be left behind by his sister. Han Weiya is obsessed with elixirs. She longs to start making elixirs as soon as possible. Then there is Colin, a noble son who has died in the line of duty at the official level of the Alpha Alliance. He also longs to have the strength to reappear in front of the world as soon as possible. They all have their own thoughts in their hearts. It is really hard to cultivate. In just 1 month, even Han Weiya, who has newly shaped the Taoist root, has found the sense of qi. She is trying to train qi into her body, not to mention Colin, who is lucky enough to get the Taoist root of 2 natures. As the first alien to train qi into his body, Colin's feeling can only be understood but not described. This morning, after a sumptuous breakfast, the 4 of them all go back to their rooms to cultivate secretly. Lin Luoran's personal ability has been concealed. When she gets close to the villa, no one notices it. However, Hu Ji pretends to be mysterious and deliberately reveals his traces. Ma Shuangshuang's personal ability is the highest. She notices a strong breath coming, but it is not Aunt Lin whom she is familiar with. The little girl guesses that it is an enemy, but she can't think of a way to escape. She is so anxious that she is sweating all over and almost loses her breath. The 2 gourd fruits in front of the villa are all ripe. The golden fruit exudes a sweet and sour fruit fragrance. Hu Ji kicks the door open and puts Liao down. He pats the trunk and a few gourd fruits fall down. The ripe gourd fruits are all juice. Ma Shuangshuang can't pretend to be stupid anymore. She comes out with Colin and the other 2. At first, she sees Liao in a coma. Then she sees a teenager she doesn't know spoiling fruits in the yard. Ma Shuangshuang is 100% sure that the enemy is coming. Ma Shuangshuang grits her teeth. The enemy has come to her door. How can she not fight back? She has just laid foundation. She just picks up the most powerful spell in her memory, makes a gesture, and throws it out. The other side has already used the magic weapon that Lin Luoran refined for her when she was on the starship before. A blue water whip is extremely inconsistent with Ma Shuangshuang's temperament. However, she has practiced whip skills a lot in her daily life. When the spell attack is about to arrive, the whip has already arrived like a spirit snake. Her two hands attack mercilessly. Hu Ji is sucking the gourd fruit with a tut-tut sound. He frees one hand to catch Ma Shuangshuang's water whip. He pulls her and the little girl almost falls down. Seeing that his sister is at a disadvantage, Ma Yiming can't bear it even though his personal ability is not high. He also jumps forward. Hu Ji holds back his smile and deliberately tries to dodge. After a dozen moves with the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, who he doesn't notice, has quietly stepped forward and sprinkled a handful of yellowish-brown powder on his head. Hu Ji is stunned at the moment. Colin Weir doesn't know why the enemy suddenly becomes stupid. He quickly takes the opportunity to grab Liao who is in the fighting range and saves him back to the house. Ma Shuangshuang sees Hu Ji in a daze and knows that the opportunity has come. The water whip has already wrapped around Hu Ji's neck. As long as she shakes her wrist, she can strangle the teenager's neck. Tell me, who are you? Why did you hurt Grandpa Liao? The yellowish-brown powder works. Hu Ji sneezes one after another. His whole body is soft and powerless. It has nothing to do with the amazing appearance he imagined. He is so angry that he bends down and points at the four young people but can't speak. He is so angry. He is the new nine-tailed fox king, but he is defeated by four juniors. Besides, they use dirty tricks which are taught by him. Do you think it is easy for Hu Ji? Oh, Han Weiya, that wicked girl. Why did she choose this kind of muscle-softening and soul-swallowing powder, which has no antidote? Lin Luoran, who is hiding to watch the fun, doesn't expect that Hu Ji will be the one at a disadvantage in the end. She finally can't help laughing. The four people all shout, "Aunt Lin," in surprise. Ma Shuangshuang narrates, "The enemy is attacking," with red eyes. Lin Luoran laughs so hard that she can't breathe. She points at Hu Ji happily, "Look carefully." Who is he? As soon as the four people hear this, they understand that they probably misunderstand the relationship between them and the enemy. Does Aunt Lin know this mysterious young man who suddenly appears? No, according to Lin Luoran's words, they should also know each other. Ma Shuangshuang sheepishly takes back her whip. She still doesn't recognize Hu Ji after looking at him for a long time. However, Han Weiya often discusses spirit medicine with Hu Ji before he transforms. She feels that Hu Ji's arrogant look is very familiar. The four people guess for a long time, which makes Hu Ji even angrier. He suddenly shows his teeth at them, revealing a pointed fox face and 6 long dancing tails behind him. Ah! Cyan Little Fox. He has 4 more tails and his face is Cyan Little Fox's face. Han Weiya happily pulls her good friend's sleeve. "Why do you suddenly transform?" Hu Ji snorts coldly. Obviously, he still remembers Han Weiya's muscle-softening and spirit-swallowing powder. In the end, he still can't stand Han Weiya's innate clinginess. He slaps her hand away. "What, Cyan Little Fox? My name is Hu Ji. You have to call me Uncle Hu." After that, he quietly glances at Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is still very happy. She doesn't care that Hu Ji is willing to lower his seniority. Because they call her Aunt Lin, he insists that others call him Uncle. However, the 4 young people don't buy it. First of all, Hu Ji's face is too young. They can't call him Uncle in front of a teenage boy. Second of all, he is Cyan Little Fox. His arrogant temper is deeply rooted in people's hearts. They all treat him as a child. Hu Ji yells angrily and chases Colin, who has the most vicious mouth, all over the yard. Lin Luoran drinks the tea served by Ma Shuangshuang. She only feels that compared with the beautiful Green Mountains world, although the environment of the earth is not good, the fairyland in the sky is not as good as the feeling of home. Chapter 521. After coming back from the Green Mountains world, Lin Luoran's days are not easy. First of all, the young people in her family have embarked on the road of personal ability enhancement. As guides and elders, they must have some weapons on the earth where mutant monsters are rampant. She has made a batch of weapons on the starship earlier. However, at that time, she didn't know what kind of Taoist root Han Weiya and the other two would have, so she only made some common weapons of the 5 elements. Only Ma Shuangshuang's water whip was made by Lin Luoran when they passed by an uninhabited planet. Lin Luoran happened to kill a snake monster of the water and made this whip with its main spine. It is of good quality. Otherwise, it can't trap Hu Ji easily. Of course, in addition to worrying about this, Lin Luoran is also very concerned about the injuries of Fire Phoenix and Silver Fish in space. Lin Luoran has no elixirs to use when her soul of departed is injured. She can only choose the stupidest way, which is to throw piles of 10,000-year hollow azurite she brought from the Green Mountains world to the 2 monsters. As for herself, she also carved a few pieces of 10,000-year hollow azurite. She hangs them on her body when she has nothing to do. The main purpose is to nourish her ocean of consciousness. When she is free, she goes into space to organize things. Lin Luoran glimpses at the blue-covered Tao book on the desk. No matter how hard she tries, she can't open it. She is sure that the man in robe really leaves when he says he will leave. She has only learned 8 golden word figures. She probably won't have a chance to continue learning before seeing the man in robe again. However, she can't be too greedy. As a gathering vitality cultivator with a divine title, there are still many arts of nature and holy spells waiting for her to study. Lin Luoran lines up the refining materials collected by the monsters of the Green Mountains world for several years and the treasures of nature offered to Hu Ji by the monsters of the Green Mountains world. After thinking for several days, she finally has a clue about what to refine for everyone. The 9-tailed fox is not good at attacking. Lin Luoran remembers that the monsters of the Green Mountains world offered a ball of glittering silk. It should be feasible to weave it into cloth and then make a Taoist robe for Hu Ji. Of course, she can't do it by herself. Ma Shuangshuang used to learn the ancient weaving method in order to cure diseases. Therefore, she asks for this thing. Lu Qingdai also comes to see him. In addition to the reconstruction, she also tells him about a group of people from the Alpha Alliance a few days ago. Lin Luoran doesn't know how the Earth Federation led by Mr. Pang works. With the influence of the last Dongting incident, the Alpha Alliance not only doesn't turn against the Earth, but also portrays the last incident as a test of the military defense of the Earth Federation. The result of the test is obvious to all. The Earth Federation doesn't want to argue with them. It insists that since it is a test, it should upgrade the Earth Federation. The Earth is a rank 1 member star of the Alpha Alliance. It is just a nice name for a colonial star. Lin Luoran doesn't know how high the Earth will be in the Alpha Alliance under the operation of the Earth Federation this time. She doesn't pay much attention to it. Subconsciously, she still regards the Alpha Alliance as a hostile force. Whether they suppress the Earth Federation or support her, it is only a temporary relief for Lin Luoran. Therefore, Lin Luoran just keeps what Lu Qingdai said in mind and doesn't pay more attention to it. As for the reconstruction, step by step, one can't make progress. Although she is partial to Huaxia, she also knows that if other places are left alone, the change of environment will be limited no matter how great it is. Not to mention other settlements, in addition to Dongting, Huaxia still has Zhongdu City, which was originally the capital before the new era, and Lessa City on the Tibetan Plateau. There is only one mother lode of the 5 elements. The reconstruction has to be centered on Dongting. This is a protracted battle. Zhongdu City, Lessa City, and even the settlements in Western Europe and the Grand Canyon of East Africa have to take some actions. It seems that she has to find a time to investigate the environment near other settlement cities. Thinking of Lesa, Lin Luoran suddenly thinks of something. Didn't Zayitong's family live on the prairie before the new era? Since Lesa City can be preserved in the form of a settlement, maybe the herdsman girl's bloodline may really be left in the world if she is lucky. It is feasible to let Xiaoji investigate this matter, in case it stays on the Edward and chats with her from a distance all day long because of boredom. Alas, she is not a chatting robot. After dealing with the trivial things at home, Lin Luoran is about to start refining weapons. She suddenly remembers that day in the stone hall, Baojia's snow sword was seriously injured by the fake saintess. Maybe she also wants to refine it again. Lin Luoran thinks of the grade 5, bright snow. The two flying swords are originally from the same source. This time, Baojia almost destroyed the sword to save her. She simply refurbishes the bright snow and doesn't hesitate to refine it. Can she take the opportunity to upgrade the flying sword? After thinking about it, Lin Luoran finds nothing impossible. She even selects the refining materials to integrate into the flying sword before leaving for Chao's residence, which Baojia entrusted to her. However, after a few days, the small yard is empty. Not only the nanny is dismissed, but also the house is sold. This is a blow to Lin Luoran. She thought that since they went through life and death together in the Green Mountains, the relationship between her and Baojia was getting better. What went wrong? Why did Baojia move away so eagerly? However, after the incident of the fake saintess, she did see Baojia wanted to say something several times but stopped on second thought. She didn't remember to ask at that time, but now the consequences of the incident finally burst out. Lin Luoran sighs. What is this? Whether they can be friends or not, they can make it clear. Why does he avoid her like this? For a while, she is also a little indifferent. Xiaoji helps her to find out that Baojia left Dongting with Chao and went to Zhongdu City. Knowing the general direction, Lin Luoran puts this matter aside. She wants to let nature take its course. 2 days later, news comes from Zhongdu City. It is something wrong with their seed cultivation center. Although Lu Qingdai plans to deal with it by herself, how can Lin Luoran not care about it now that she knows it? The 4 young people in her family hear that they are going to Zhongdu City, so they all apply to go with them. Liao is still recovering from his injury, and Dongting can't be left alone. Hu Ji is rarely sensible and says he wants to stay. Lin Luoran finally takes Colin, who is more tactful in dealing with things. In order to better investigate the environment, she doesn't want to fly all the way. She casts a small art of nature on herself so that her appearance becomes blurred and ordinary in the eyes of others. Because of Lu Qingdai's operation, Lin Luoran and Colin travel with some agriculturists and old researchers as assistants of Dongting City's agronomy department. It can be said that except for Lu Qingdai, even the mayor of Dongting doesn't know that Mortal Heart Fairy is in such a group of people. These old researchers have the same idea as Lin Luoran. This time, they go to Zhongdu City to collect soil and water samples on the way. They plan for large-scale replanting in the future. Therefore, this group of people abandon the fast airship. Instead, they choose a comprehensive small spaceship. They go to Zhongdu City at the speed equivalent to the long-distance bus before the new era. Along the way, they stop and collect samples. Lin Luoran and Colin also participate in the numbering and archiving. As for the analysis, it is not something that assistants like them can do. Seeing a group of old men who can discuss a certain water source data all day long, Lin Luoran sighs with emotion. At the same time, she also secretly wants some good things in their drinking water and food. This group of old men is the treasure of agronomy. They are the wealth of the entire Earth Federation. Lin Luoran hopes that they can be as healthy as possible and live longer. It will also benefit future generations of Earthlings. On this day, they travel through the territory of Shi, and before the new era. They are about to arrive at the Yellow River Basin. Several water experts are very excited. Mutant monsters are rampant. It should be known that the opportunity to come out for field investigation like today is too rare for these old researchers. Staying in the laboratory to analyze data is not as good as seeing it with their own eyes. The Two River Basin nurtured the ancestors of Huaxia. The old people are still very optimistic about whether it can purify the Yellow River Basin. Lin Luoran walks through the hall with 2 glasses of juice mixed with something. She is stopped by the old scholar surnamed Wang. Lin, we will arrive at the Yellow River Basin soon. Are you interested in going there with me to have a look? As for the 2 assistants, who suddenly join them, Lin Luoran, who knows nothing about agriculture, is not a big deal. Lin Luoran, on the other hand, is very insightful because of her space and her previous experience. She is also careful and diligent. All the old professors and scholars on the spacecraft like her very much. Lao Wang's invitation to her was also a test. He did not know if this delicate young lady could really devote herself to this line of research. After all, although there were guards to protect her, there was still a certain degree of danger in the territory of the mutated beasts after getting off the spaceship. How can Lin Luoran care about the danger that Wang cares about? Although she can see the places one by one on the spaceship, it is not as real as doing it in person. Lin Luoran agrees to Wang's suggestion. When they arrive at the destination, the security of the spaceship tries to choose a safe area before letting several old people with compressed oxygen and protective suits get off the ship. Although the old scholars try to persuade them again and again, the spaceship still emphasizes that they can't stay too long, especially not by the Yellow River. Compared with the mutant monsters on the land, the aquatic mutant monsters hiding under the sand of the Yellow River can hurt people at any time. It is really a headache. As a junior with the least experience, Lin Luoran is allowed to accompany them, which makes some other assistants jealous. Even Colin doesn't get a place. He can only watch Lin Luoran get off the ship and silently accuses the white-haired old men of being so blind. He is not worried about Lin Luoran's safety. He is just frustrated that the old men still refuse to go with him because of his repeated requests. The guards try to keep a low profile and clear the mutant monsters at the destination. The old men come to the river under the protection of the guards. Looking at the dirty water, they feel complicated. Without the upstream vegetation, the uplift of the Yellow River becomes more serious. The problem of yellow sand in the past and the problem of water pollution after the new era make it really a big project to transform the important water area in the history of Huaxia, which has watered a number of farmlands. The old people have a heated discussion. They are still reluctant to leave after getting the water samples. The river is calm, but the guards feel an unusual danger. It is too quiet. Lin Luoran doesn't notice anything at first. When she accompanies them to the river, she can't move as if she is under a spell. Chapter 522. Since Lin Luoran returned from Mount Penglai, she has killed countless mutant monsters along the way. At that time, she was only in the bearing essence period and she didn't take mutant monsters seriously. As time goes by, she inevitably loses her vigilance. He really didn't expect that under the sand of the Yellow River, there was a strange beast with a majestic earth element lurking. At this moment, she was no longer a core formation cultivator who had just returned from the Immortal Mountain. As a nascent soul cultivator, she actually didn't notice this earth elemental strange beast at first. She couldn't figure out the beast's strength. Lin Luoran regrets that she didn't ask Hu Ji to come with her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so afraid of the strange beast. Since the old professors are still by the river and the spaceship is not far away, Lin Luoran doesn't dare to move. She is just ready to attack. If the strange beast attacks, she won't be merciful. However, her vigilance was in vain. Even when she was drenched in sweat and returned to the spaceship with the clueless scholars, the beast lurking in the water did not attack at all. Among all the people on the boat, only Colin has noticed that something is wrong with Lin. He asks in a low voice. Lin Luoran shakes her head at him without saying a word. When the spaceship sets off again, Lin Luoran is most nervous when they cross the Yellow River. To her surprise, the strange beast of the earth seems to be not hostile to them. Before they know it, the spaceship has crossed the river safely. Lin Luoran doesn't realize that her tightly clenched palms are sweaty until she puts all the thoughts behind her mind. She was nervous because she couldn't figure out the opponent's strength. Besides, Colin wasn't the only one on the spaceship. There was also a group of scholars who were very valuable to the reconstruction. However, the beast did not overreact in the end. Was he gentle by nature? Lin Luoran feels a little strange, but the spaceship has flown far away. When she looks back, what she can see on the virtual screen is just the same as other places in the new era. The sky is always gray. When the spaceship shrunk to the size of a dot in the distance, the Earth-attributed exotic beast, which had been standing still in the depths of the riverbed, raised its huge head. It didn't look very amiable, but its pair of huge eyes didn't match the emotions of a beast. Reluctance, longing, and indescribable gratification. Because of the Earth monster, Lin Luoran is a little absent-minded. Taking advantage of the break time, she refined some of the materials, intending to leave the important steps for later in the central capital. No matter how slow the journey is, there are still things waiting to be solved in Zhongdu City. The research group that Lin Luoran and Colin follow still arrives in Zhongdu City after 2 days. Compared with the 800-mile Dongting water area, the Zhongdu City was sandstormy before the new era. At this moment, this settlement is twice as large as the capital before the new era. Under the semicircle shelter, it is a huge city of yellow sand. Compared with Dongting City, Zhongdu City may be seriously short of water. It seemed that rather than saying that there was a problem with the seedling center, it would be more accurate to say that the reconstruction was very difficult to promote near the central capital. No matter how powerful Mortal Heart Fairy and the Earth Federation are, they can't make people drink water and fill the bottomless hole of vegetation restoration, right? After a strict examination, they are allowed to enter the central city. Sitting in the car sent by the government, Lin Luoran has been observing silently, trying to connect Zhongdu with the capital in her memory. However, compared with Dongting City, Zhongdu City was probably more severely damaged in the past. Many landmark buildings have changed beyond recognition. Lin Luoran is surprised only when the car passes the old palace silently. Lao Wang thinks it is the first time for the little girl to be surprised by the ancient architecture of Huaxia. He says with regret and relief, this is the old palace that has gone through the Ming and Qing dynasties of Huaxia. It was preserved under the artillery fire of the Alpha Alliance. It is also the only well-preserved ancient building on the earth. Lin Luoran nods. She can understand the mentality of the old. Before the new era, many people criticized the taste of the Qing dynasty, saying that the red and yellow color of the Forbidden City was vulgar and rustic. It was very different from the Daming Palace of the Li Tang dynasty. However, in the new era, after the disappearance of the pyramids, the collapse of the Arc de Triomphe, the destruction of the Great Wall, the most famous ancient buildings in the world and countless exquisite gardens in the south of Huaxia were all destroyed in the artillery fire, the Forbidden City of the Ming and Qing dynasties became more meaningful. Seeing it, Lin Luoran can think of more destroyed them. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she should be happy or worried. The car simply bypasses the palace wall and arrives at the hotel arranged for them by Zhongdu. It is not very luxurious, but it is not far from the seed breeding center. Those old researchers who don't pay attention to material things are very satisfied. The hotel arranges a welcome banquet for the scholars who come from Dongting City to support them. A deputy mayor of Zhongdu City also attends the banquet. In addition to the rarest and most expensive species of mutant beasts, there are also real natural fruits and vegetables on the banquet. There are even lobsters half a foot long. Lin Luoran and Colin don't comment on the banquet. The old scholars also pay more attention to the problems encountered by the seedling center. Perhaps only the receptionists of Zhongdu City, especially the deputy mayor, can enjoy this banquet the most. Seeing the deputy mayor with a big belly drinking red, Lin Luoran is a little annoyed. Even in the new era, if she wants to do something practical, she can't do without such people. Anyway, she is also an insignificant person at this time. No one will notice if she leaves quietly. Lin Luoran walks along the wind in the corridor all the way to the garden of the hotel building. Different from the simple and low-key style of the hotel, the garden is all planted with roses. There are pink, purple, blue, but most of them are pure red. The fragrance of roses comes and Lin Luoran is a little surprised. However, probably no one will be in a bad mood when they are surrounded by flowers. The uncomfortable atmosphere of the meal seemed to have been diluted by a lot as the cups and cups clashed with each other. After a while, Colin also came to find him. "Miss, are we going with them?" Lin Luoran seems to be a little drunk in the aroma. After a while, she nods and turns her head with a smile. The environment of this hotel is good. Colin is stunned. He looks at the nameplate nailed on the garden wall. It is a little familiar. It is the famous Rose Hotel in the Alliance. As the son of the Weir family of rank 4 member star, Colin has been to a wide range of places in the Alpha Alliance. The Rose Hotel is not famous for its luxury and it is not eye-catching among the many chain hotels in the Alliance. However, it has chain stores in the important cities of every member star of the Alliance. Compared with the old hotels in the Alliance which have been operating for thousands of years, the Rose Hotel, which has only risen for a few decades, seems a little young. Colin remembers the information he has occasionally paid attention to before. He knows that it is developing very fast. He doesn't expect that it even has a branch in the Zhongdu city on the earth. It is said that the behind-the-scenes boss loves roses most. He doesn't know whether it is true or not. These irrelevant gossip are filtered in Colin's mind. Probably there is no important information worthy of Lin Luoran's attention. He then leaves it behind. Senator Pang. At the Dongting Starship landing site, the important officials of the municipal government have been waiting for a whole morning before they see the familiar face getting off the starship surrounded by many guards. The leader doesn't complain about his sweaty suit because of the long wait. With just the right amount of respect on his face, he takes the lead to greet him. "Hello, Mr. Pang." Mr. Pang, the important officials greet him one after another. Compared with Senator Pang, the officials who have worked with this middle-aged man are more willing to call him Mr. Pang. Pang Xianzhong finally smiles a little more intimately. Obviously, he is more satisfied with the latter title of Mr. Pang. The leading official wipes his cold sweat. He feels that he is really not qualified today. However, he is newly transferred to Dongting City, so he can't be blamed. Although he has long heard that Senator Pang is approachable and doesn't put on airs, he doesn't dare to act rashly when he is not familiar with him. After all, this senator has real power in the Supreme Senate of the Federation. Even if he is smiling, the unique aura of a superior cannot be ignored. The jury team of the Alpha Federation has already arrived in Dongting. These days, they have been making a lot of noise, nitpicking the qualification of the Earth Federation to be promoted to rank 2 member star. The new mayor knows that Senator Pang is here to deal with this matter. He just doesn't know how this supposedly moderate senator will promote the development of this matter. Pang Xianzhong and a group of officials who come to inquire about the news perfunctorily talk for a while and then get on the black car that comes to pick him up. Seeing the new mayor looking at him eagerly, Pang Xianzhong looks at the time on his old mechanical watch and says with some dissatisfaction, "Mayor Pang, you are a federal official. You can't be too soft in some aspects." Mayor Pang's face froze. He wanted to explain something, but the black cars had already disappeared from his sight. Ignoring the thoughts of other officials, Mayor Pang is thinking about the meaning of Pang Xianzhong's words. He feels it is unbelievable. This time, the Federation is going to take a tougher attitude towards the Alpha Alliance. But what was the trump card of the Federation? Was it just Mortal Heart Fairy? Of course, Mayor Pang's thoughts couldn't affect Pang Xianzhong. In front of a large group of people, he couldn't speak too clearly. However, Pang Xianzhong was certain that that person had been operating for many years. He would not be satisfied with a second-class member planet that was slightly better than a colonial planet. The Alpha Alliance admits defeat this time. Pang Xianzhong knows that the man must have taken action, but he didn't expect that he would come to Dongting in person. Not because of the existence of mortal heart fairy, Mr. Pang, we have arrived at the Rose Hotel. The driver's words made Pang Xianzhong put aside some thoughts. He ordered the security personnel to stand by. Pang Xianzhong tidied up his clothes to ensure that they were clean before entering the hotel alone. The Rose Hotel is not luxurious, but that person seems to have a preference. Pang Xianzhong remembered that they seemed to have met several times, and they always chose this hotel chain. He pondered for a while in his mind. Under the guidance of a special person, he gently pushed open the door of the luxury suite on the top floor. A burst of fragrance of flowers came. The first thing he saw was the brilliant red roses on the terrace. Chapter 523. Xianzhong, do you know about the earth in the past? Maybe because he drinks too much, when Mu Tiannan mentions this topic, his pale face actually turns red. His eyebrows and eyes become more blurred, and he looks feminine and charming. Pang Xianzhong has been supported by Mu Tiannan since he was a teenager. Now decades have passed in the blink of an eye. As he becomes more powerful in the Earth Federation, he meets Mu Tiannan more often. He also gets to know some of his benefactor's habits. Most of Mu Tiannan's questions are just self-answers. He just needs a qualified listener. Sure enough, when Pang Xianzhong refills his glass, Mu Tiannan has already changed the topic. Are you here for the Earth's upgrade? Pang Xianzhong sat up straight and nodded. He didn't just come for Earth's upgrade. He firmly believed that with his benefactor's help, not only would the current problem be easily solved, but Earth might also have the opportunity to jump a level and become a third-class member planet. The Earth has been developing secretly with the support of his benefactor for so many years. A few days ago, he got some technology from the Nami Alliance. If the Earth digests all the information, it will be far more advanced than today's Rank 4 or Rank 5 member stars of the Alpha Alliance. As an evaluation standard, he only needs to show some of it. In terms of hardware, the Earth Federation has developed the Lunar Residential Area and Pluto, which is still under construction. There are indeed fewer planets under its jurisdiction. Mu Tiannan puts down his glass and says with a faint smile, Xianzhong, don't worry. The Earth's upgrade will not succeed this time. Huh? The steady Pang Xianzhong's hands trembled slightly. He couldn't believe what he had heard. For the sake of this upgrade, the Federation had made a lot of preparations, even going so far as to expose some of their strength. Why did their benefactor say that it would not succeed? Mu Tiannan doesn't explain but asks Lieutenant Pang Xian to turn on the TV. At this time, the interstellar news of the Alpha Alliance is broadcast. Today, the host's tone is a little solemn. It turns out that the other two alliances bordering the Alpha Alliance have been harassing the border in recent days. The conflict has been expanding again and again. The Alpha Alliance can't completely block the news from its member stars. Today, things are analyzed on interstellar TV for the first time. Looking at the so-called experts analyzing whether the Galaxy Alliance will form an alliance this time, Mu Tiannan raises his eyebrows. Look, the alliance will soon be unable to take care of themselves. How will they have the time to devise any schemes to cause trouble for Earth? Rank up. The strict ranking system between the member planets was not only a pleasant-sounding title, but also a corresponding trade level. Once Earth successfully leveled up, the restrictions that the Alliance had deliberately set on Earth would no longer be able to be brought to light. Even if it was a level 2 member star, it had the right to communicate with other alliances outside of the galaxy. The Alpha Alliance's plan to bury the secret of longevity on the Earth, a small planet, falls apart. Therefore, Mu Tiannan knows that the Alpha Alliance's initiative to investigate the Earth Federation and upgrade the Earth is a conspiracy from the very beginning. It doesn't matter what the Alpha Alliance is planning. 1 monk carries water to eat, 2 monks carry water to eat, and 3 monks have no water to eat. He helps the Alpha Alliance find so many foreign monks. If the alliance wants to monopolize the secret of longevity, it will be a headache. How could Mu Tiannan, who was born in a red family, easily forget the invasion 300 years ago? He knows that Lin Luoran will never forget. No matter how kind a person was, they would fall out with each other. They were both taking revenge, so why not let him do it for them? Anyway, she was a righteous person, so she shouldn't be stained with the sin of killing. As for him, his hands were already stained with endless sin, so he didn't mind adding a little more. Ilok Alliance and Bape Alliance. Are they really going to declare war on the Alpha Alliance? The news comes so suddenly that Peng Xianzhong is very surprised. The news is still on, but his mind has drifted far away. Mu Tiannan lowers his head and smiles. He didn't intend to say much to Peng Xianzhong. However, thinking that Peng Xianzhong is still a member of parliament, Mu Tiannan has to say something to the Federation. Don't worry. Even if they fight, the war will not affect the Earth Federation. Seeing that Mu Tiannan is so sure, Peng Xianzhong is relieved. He sees that Mu Tiannan turns his eyes to the fiery roses on the terrace. It seems that he doesn't want to talk anymore, so he takes the initiative to say goodbye. Xianzhong, since you are in Dongting, you should visit your family more often if you have time. Peng Xianzhong says yes. When he walks out of the hotel, he suddenly understands. He was born in a poor family, so he doesn't have any family friends. He is only an old friend of Han Kueisheng for many years. His woman who follows Mortal Heart Fairy is probably in Dongting at this time. Peng Xianzhong has a plan in his mind. He leaves by car, but he doesn't go to the Ma's villa by Dongting Lake. Instead, he contacts Han Kueisheng first. Old Han, have you seen the news of Interstellar TV? Han Kueisheng, an interstellar businessman, is knowledgeable. He is naturally more sensitive than others. He watches the news of Interstellar TV and frowns at the moment. The shadow of war actually shrouds the Federation silently. Once the two alliances go to war with Alpha, the business of the Han family will be damaged a little. However, how can the Han family remain unscathed? There is not much useful information. However, Han Kueisheng's analysis makes him break out in a cold sweat. When he is in a daze, an old friend in a high position calls him and points him a clear way, Dongting City. Yes, Dongting City. It is not only the Taoist field of Mortal Heart Fairy but also his only daughter who has entered the path of personal ability enhancement. Peng Xianzhong suggests that the Han family should transfer their main force to Dongting City as soon as possible. Once the news spreads, it will be hard to get the right to live in Dongting City. Han Kueisheng is enlightened by his words. Therefore, Han Weiya, who has been practicing her personal ability enhancement, also receives the news that her father is coming to Dongting. She is a little surprised. However, the siblings of the Ma family and Hu Ji seem to be isolated from the world. They don't think about the war for a while. Peng Xianzhong himself will not stay in Dongting for a long time. He just quietly takes his wife here and settles her down. Officially, he has to discuss countermeasures with the high-level officials of the Federation. At the critical moment, he may even die in the line of duty. Privately, he has his own selfish motives. After knowing the news, he naturally wants to transfer his only relative to a safe place. Han Kueisheng gets the news and begins to transfer important assets and family members. Now the upstart Lu family can't be completely silent. The war is about to start. Where will the Lu family go? Lu Qingdai burns incense and asks for advice. Because Lin Luoran's ocean of consciousness is closed, the incense burns out but she doesn't get any response. Lu Qingdai is surprised but she hides her uneasiness and doesn't leak the news. So where is Lin Luoran at this time? Lin Luoran is not very sensitive to the interstellar situation, but she has Colin by her side. Colin was not talented in martial arts and spirit power in the past. However, he is the son of a noble family cultivated by a rank 4 member star. He is very sensitive to politics. It's a border conflict, and the two alliances jointly harass the Alpha Alliance star territory. The information revealed in this is very thought-provoking. Neither of the two alliances is weaker than the Alpha Alliance. It doesn't make sense for them to be so angry over the ownership of a few planets. Small-scale border conflicts are full of temptation and warning. Colin means that the war between the alliances is about to start. Both sides may be deploying troops to prepare for the war. When the time comes, the war may break out within a month or 3 days. The Earth Federation is located at the corner of the Alpha Alliance, but it doesn't mean that the war will not affect it. The reconstruction here has not been effective, but the war on the other side is about to start. Lin Luoran and Colin certainly can't stay in Zhongdu anymore. They return to Dongting City in consecutive days. They pass by the Yellow River Basin. It is obviously not the same place as last time. However, Lin Luoran notices the strange beast of the earth again. Seeing that the strange beast is gentle and harmless, Lin Luoran has an idea. She resists the urge to investigate immediately and leaves Colin back to Dongting City first. Fearing that the war will break out, she first sends a letter to the Lu family to move back to Dongting and asks Xiaoji to speed up the search for Baojia's whereabouts. A few days later, Peng Xianzhong and Han Weiya's father come to visit. Lin Luoran doesn't want to see them at first, but after thinking about it, she still meets Mr. Peng alone. The mechas and weapons she has collected in her space probably won't be of much use. Although once the war starts, these weapons and equipment are just a drop in the bucket compared to the consumption of interstellar war, the Earth Federation won't take the initiative to participate in the war, so it's good to have more self-defense weapons. Therefore, Lin Luoran hands it to Peng Xianzhong without hesitation. The shadow of the war had quietly shrouded the sky above the Earth Federation. When the city gate was on fire, the fish in the moat would be affected. If it doesn't work, let the Federation people move back to Dongting, the pressure on the city will be great. Even if the power of faith is strong, will the seal really be indestructible under intensive attacks? Lin Luoran's ocean of consciousness hasn't recovered yet. She can't detect the situation of faith, so she doesn't have much confidence. Thinking of the earth monster in the Yellow River Basin, Lin Luoran can't help but think of it. Seeing her frown, Hu Ji sneers, "At worst, we can move all the Federation people into the Green Mountains. Don't be too angry." Lin Luoran is happy at first, but then she becomes worried, the Earth is completely destroyed. No matter how good the Green Mountains is, it is just a different dimension. It is not a long-term way. No matter how vast the Green Mountains is, it is still a different dimension separated from the Earth. Although it has been cut off from the Earth, if the Earth is destroyed, who knows if the space node will still be there. She tells Hu Ji her concerns, and Hu Ji has to take it seriously. "Humph, if you annoy me, I will release all those monsters. I will sit and watch this shitty alliance in chaos. Will they still have the leisure to fight?" Lin Luoran is speechless to him. Monsters will still worry about Hu Ji's strength in the Green Mountains. However, outside the Green Mountains, the sky is high and the sea is wide. God knows what they can mess up. Besides the Alpha Alliance, does it also include the Earth Federation? At that time, those monsters will not be controlled. Today you eat a person, tomorrow I will fry a heart. Catching monsters all day is more tiring than fighting. Hu Ji also begins to be anxious. Lin Luoran sighs. The Green Mountains are not the only place in the different dimensions of the Earth. If this plan works, she hopes that the monsters of Penglai Fairyland and all kinds of big monsters in the secret land of Bermuda will all come out. She wants to turn the world upside down. Let's see if those aliens are still arrogant. In the Golden Triangle of Bermuda, on the Stinky Sea, Mu Tianan floats in the air. He opens his palm and 12 jade plates fly out. "Boy, you can't delay it any longer, can you?" Chapter 524. The 12 jade plates to open the secret land of Bermuda were kept by the cultivators of various countries. No one knows how Mu Tianan collected them. The night shrouds this sea area. 12 jade plates fly out and find the way automatically. They stop in the sea area where there are many mutant monsters of the water. Mu Tiannan ignores the threat of the mutant monsters. Even the cold snort from the bat ring does not affect his mood. Thick fog rises and the magnetic field of this sea area completely changes. The jade plates are finally suspended in the air and arranged separately. 12 red and white beams of light rise from the sea below them. The light beams carry the jade plates and slowly move away in a fixed track. The 12 light beams are getting brighter and brighter. However, the serious pollution of the new era makes it impossible to reproduce the celestial phenomenon of stars and moon in the same night 300 years ago. Mu Tiannan waits quietly for a while, but he still can't get it. He has to make a complicated emblematic gesture to blow away the dust pollution covering the sky above his head. The majestic monster power is pouring out, and Mu Tiannan's demonic eyes are even redder. Without the interference of dust, the 12 light beams finally attract the reaction of the distant stars. The stars reflect brilliance and intersect with the red and white light beams. With the jade plates as the guide, they slowly weave a large net. The grid gradually condenses and forms a large disk with a radius of about 100 square meters on the foggy sea. Seeing that the disk has stabilized, the bat ring says again, "Why don't you go?" Mu Tiannan seems to be disgusted and afraid of the existence in the ring. He is about to take back the jade plates and step on the disk when a strange movement comes from the sea area not far away. He can't help but look into the distance. Mu Tiannan's demonic eyes give him excellent eyesight. It is a huge turtle breaking through the water. Contrary to the clumsiness of turtles, it is as fast as lightning in the sea. In the pitch-black night, a figure leisurely followed behind the sea turtle, riding on a sword as it approached. Mu Tiannan's demonic eyes suddenly become dull. The blood in his eyes slowly fades away, but his face becomes paler, the cultivator with fluttering sleeves on the sword. Who else can it be except the beautiful and unparalleled Lin Luoran? He has made a lot of preparations and looked forward to meeting her again with a flawless image. However, fate may never really care about him. His layout, schemes, and plans are shattered by the unexpected reunion. This kind of indescribable psychological fluctuation makes Mu Tiannan unable to lift his feet or turn around. Lin Luoran is approaching from afar. She was originally focused on the giant turtle. She seems to be surprised that someone has opened the secret land of Bermuda. She can't help but look at Mu Tiannan in a black robe. She is whiter and thinner than before, but her appearance. She seems to be surprised that a mortal without the Taoist root can live to the new era. Then the joy in her eyes makes Mu Tiannan tremble all over. Mu Tiannan's vision is blurred, but his body is out of control. He raises the hand with the bat ring and attacks Lin Luoran with great monster power. Apparently, she didn't expect that her old acquaintance would attack her mercilessly. The demon light hits Lin Luoran's ribs. Blocked by her treasure clothes, it only loses 20% of its strength. Lin Luoran falls from the flying sword and spits out blood in the water. Mu Tiannan can hardly believe that he attacked her. He didn't know where the giant turtle went. Lin Luoran falls into the sea and disappears. Only Mu Tiannan, who can't control his emotions, the disk of intertwining light, and her blue flying sword buzzing and trembling are left on the sea. How dare you attack her without authorization? The existence in the bat ring laughs strangely. It seems that Mu Tiannan just asked an extremely ridiculous question. That is not Mu Tiannan. Who is that? The moment Lin Luoran falls into the sea, her mind is in a mess. The War of the Alliance is about to break out. The entire Earth Federation is actively defending. Lin Luoran has arranged important affairs in Dongting City. She has always been thinking about the Earth monster in the Yellow River Basin. If she wants to find her family, she has to gather the 5 elements as soon as possible. The sudden appearance of an Earth monster makes Lin Luoran's heart beat fast. Tonight, she finally can't help but come to check it out. She rides her sword to the Yellow River Basin. However, this time the motionless Earth monster seems to be deliberately teasing her. It rushes under the riverbed and goes all the way into the sea, leading her to the direction of the North Atlantic Ocean. She also recognizes the so-called Earth Monster. It is actually the giant turtle she once saw in the Sea of Bermuda. She still remembers that when she and Wen Guanjing climbed the sea platform to enter the secret land that year, the giant turtle suddenly appeared and looked back at her with human-like emotions. Reluctance and regret. How can it have such two strange emotions? Lin Luoran recognizes the giant turtle. She is curious, so she follows it unhurriedly and gradually arrives at the Sea of Bermuda. White mist rises from the sea. Someone is trying to open the secret land of Bermuda. Lin Luoran is very surprised. The entrance to the secret land of Bermuda is controlled by 12 jade plates. Before the new era, they were kept by the world's powerful countries. Even if they were not destroyed in the war, it is very unlikely to gather the 12 jade plates before or after the war. In addition to strength, it also depends on luck. Flying close with curiosity and vigilance, Lin Luoran doesn't expect that the one who is about to step on the platform is him. He is whiter and thinner than before. Even if the eyebrows and eyes can be fake, the look in the eyes can't be fake, right? It turns out to be Mu Tiannan. Lin Luoran remembers the last time she saw him. It was when the crazy Taoist set up the yin and yang dust circle. Lu Zhen came to find her and Mu Tiannan was waiting in front of the villa of Qingqing villa of the Lin family. He wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Later, Mu Tiannan suddenly left the country. Master Mu said that he gradually lost contact with him. Lin Luoran occasionally felt worried. She felt that Mu Tiannan's disappearance had a lot to do with what he didn't say that day. However, immortals and mortals are different. She was suddenly trapped in the Penglai immortal land and dreamed for 300 years. When she returned to the earth, her family and friends were all missing or dead. As for what Mu Tiannan didn't say at that time, she vaguely understands after experiencing the changes. But what's the use? The tall and thin young man must have been crushed into dust by the merciless time like Fatty Ma Ming and Sixi of the Mu family. How can she see a person who should have died long ago? Foppish Mu has no Taoist root. Lin Luoran hides in the water. The person who attacked her is obviously a big monster. However, how can a big monster with the same face as Foppish Mu have such eyes? The joy of reuniting with an old friend. Lin Luoran feels confused. She decides to put aside what she can't figure out first. If it is a big monster, what is the purpose of opening the secret land of Bermuda? In the secret land of Bermuda, there are many monsters and powerful spirit beasts. Lin Luoran has an idea. She restrains her breath and stays at the bottom of the sea. On the sea, Mu Tiannan's face is so pale that he seems to have been soaked in the water. In the face of the arbitrary decision of the bat ring, his reason is almost destroyed by anger. When Lin Luoran falls into the water, she calms down and thinks about it. Although that attack happens suddenly, it is not likely to cause irreversible damage to a cultivator of the gathering vitality period. He suppresses his anger. Things have come to this point, and this is the worst time. Naturally, he can't recognize Lin Luoran. However, why does she suddenly come to Bermuda? Mu Tiannan feels that it has something to do with the big turtle whose level he can't see. He wants to find it, but he can't hide his whereabouts. He thinks about it and decides to enter the secret land as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary trouble. Why don't you wait for her? Wait for her to enter the secret land together. Or, you don't want to kill her. The ring begins to speak again. The voice seems to come from the abyss, with indescribable gloom. However, it is different from the previous strange laughter. It seems to be a different person. Mu Tiannan doesn't answer and steps onto the platform. What a joke. This time, even he himself is in danger of dying in the secret land. How can he drag her into the water? Mu Tiannan forces himself to forget Lin Luoran's injury. He is ready to take back the 12 jade plates as soon as possible. However, a rainbow light suddenly shoots out of the quiet water. The blue light flashes. It is the flying sword that cuts towards him through the void. Mu Tianan slightly turns his body sideways. The flying sword cuts through the air, but the rainbow shadow is as fast as lightning. It takes away several jade plates and disappears with the flying sword from the round platform. It is the first to be teleported. Mu Tianan is stunned. Before he can say, "Don't go," two different laughs come from the bat ring. One voice is surly and the other voice is slightly young. In common, they are both very satisfied with Lin Luoran's performance of taking away the jade plates and entering the secret land of Bermuda. Mu Tiannan's face is livid. He puts away the remaining jade plates and also teleports away. Seeing that the platform is about to disappear in a while, the sea turtle appears again. Its clumsy body jumps onto the platform and follows Mu Tiannan. Its huge body also disappears from the transmission platform. Lin Luoran is the first to enter. She doesn't expect to take away half of the jade plates. It is the second time for her to come to the secret land of Bermuda. She goes down from the elevator and quickly passes through the flower corridor. The magnificent light gate is already in sight. White Fairy once said that this is the lost land. Since White Fairy can enter as a gathering vitality cultivator, why can't she enter later? Lin Luoran is eager to have a try. She thinks of the big monster that is chasing behind her. Its face is the same as that of Fopishmu. She doesn't want to face it. Making up her mind, Lin Luoran has already stepped in. On the other side, Mu Tiannan chases all the way. He only sees Lin Luoran's back disappearing in the light gate. In this case, he really doesn't know whether he should be happy or worried. Mu Tiannan grits his teeth and steps in. At the moment when the light gate is about to disappear, the clumsy sea turtle arrives late. It has been staying on the earth for many years. The pollution of Reiki after the new era obviously makes it unbearable. The sea turtle also plunges into the light gate. The mysterious light gate of the Bermuda secret land is destined to reach completely different destinations even if they enter later. Mu Tiannan, who enters later, seems to have bad luck. The place where he enters the secret land is actually the most central area. There is never a shortage of real big monsters here. Lin Luoran rolls down from the hillside to the side of a pool. The water in the pool is bubbling, and the stinky miasma shrouds the pool. The pool is rippling, and a double-headed snake pops out of the pool. Its cold snake eyes stare at Lin Luoran without any warmth. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.